Jared, the Bossman Show today. We have a great guest list for you starting off this show right. We're going to talk to the coach of ETSU Bucks, Coach Steve Forbes, joined the show right off the top of the show. So, Coach, how are you doing this evening, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great, Bossman. I appreciate you having me on. It's a nice day here in Johnson City, and just looking forward to visiting with you about the Bucks.
Oh, yes, and Coach, congrats on getting that job at ETSU up in the Bucks. I know you're familiar with the area, but you used to coach at Tennessee for a little while there, so I know you know the area and you know how great Tennessee is to its residents. You know, we have no state tax in Tennessee. That's always a good thing as well. And up there in the mountains, East Tennessee, beautiful. So, Coach, getting this gig out there, ETSU from Wichita State, how do you feel about getting your own team now, being able to bring excitement to Tri-Cities area up there in Johnson City and get everybody in Tennessee who's not a Vol fan, get them on the Bucks train now?
Well, you know, like I said, I'm excited to be here. It's very fortunate to have this job. One of the biggest things that attracted me to this job was the tradition, the 9 NCAA tournament appearances, and then the passion of our fan base. You know, basketball is important in East Tennessee, especially in the Tri-City area. So people, I think, are really excited to have a good basketball program. We've had one in the past, and we're working hard right now to reshape our roster and take a run at the SoCon title, you know, next year. 26 years of working really hard in Division I basketball, JUCO basketball. I'm very blessed, and I'm very thankful to Dr. Sandra, our athletic director, and Dr. Nolan, our president, for giving me this wonderful opportunity.
Coach, have you had a chance to get out into the community since you've been there? You know, how has the community been as far as, you know, embracing you and your arrival to the program? Have you had a chance to get out and see much of the town? I
have. You know, when I first got here on March 30th, had a press conference. It was very well attended. It was exciting. We actually sold $20,000 worth of season tickets the night of my press conference. And then, you know, since then I've been out in the community a lot, you know, speaking, meeting with student groups, meeting on campus with faculty, and then getting out in the community and speaking to, you know, just people in general. And, you know, Scott Carter, our associate director, who I worked with at the University of Tennessee, had a game time tour around East Tennessee. We went to 10 different cities in this area in the last month and spoke to fans and donors and boosters. And so I've been highly overly exposed, I guess, for the last month and a half, but it's been a good thing. And like I said, people have been very receptive and very excited for the future.
Yes, indeed, Coach. And when it comes to recruiting, it's a big part of being a head coach in college basketball, any kind of college coach is recruiting. So you feel like your track record of coaching with Coach Pearl at UT in that area, also coaching with Coach Marshall, been successful at Wichita State, will that help you attract quality talent that maybe the transfer market as well to come to ETSU and join you in the Bucks and continue to help you set the foundation and build that program up the way you want to build it up?
Yeah, without question. You know, I just finished my 26th year of college coaching. You know, in college recruiting is about networking and who you know and your friends and relationships. And I feel like over the past 26 years, I've developed some very strong relationships all over the country. But, you know, initially, Bossman, you want to recruit inside out. You know, you want to take a 300-mile radius, I believe, around the city of Johnson City, and you want to know all of those kids, and you want to try to get to know the best players in your area and try to attract them to your school. And then from there, you work your way out. And so my experience at the University of Tennessee surely helps because I recruited this area for 5 years throughout the South, even at Northwest Florida. I was in Georgia and Alabama and Mississippi a lot. You know, Wichita State, we still recruited the Carolinas, and we recruited in Atlanta. And so there's a lot of places that, you know, that I've had a lot of experience in recruiting the state of Tennessee. So I'm going to try to tap into those and, you know, try to attract the best quality student athlete we can get here. And, you know, it's been exciting. People have been, you know, very receptive to our message and looking forward to recruiting some really good players.
Now, Coach, JR had touched on Coach Pearl and Coach Marshall, and I'm interested to know, you know, what those guys have meant to you personally, to your coaching career, and what are some of the things that you'll bring from both of their styles into your style when you lead the Bucks?
Over the last 10 years, I've had the opportunity to coach with the Big 12 Coach of the Year, Billy Gillespie at Texas A&M, where we turned around a program that was 0-18 the year before we got there. We won 21 games in our first year, which is one of the largest turnarounds in the history of college basketball. Then I worked for Coach Pearl at the University of Tennessee, who was the SEC Coach of the Year. And then I worked for Greg Marshall, who was the National Coach of the Year. So if you want to look at it this way, I've gotten a college degree, a master's, and a doctorate in the last 10 years, just under these guys as a student. They all are great in their own respect, but they're all very detail-oriented. They're all believe in their system of play. Coach Gillespie, Coach Pearl, and Coach Marshall all have their own different way of playing. And that's the one thing I've learned in my experience of being a head coach is that you have to coach to who you are and not try to be somebody that you're not. So I will take a conglomerate of all the people that I've worked for in the past and, apply it here. I was afforded a very good opportunity, 4 years ago when I went to be the head coach in Northwest Florida. After being a college coach for 22 years, I had a chance to go back and apply a lot of the things that I learned, and we had a lot of success. We went 62-6 at Northwest Florida and went to 2 national championship games. And so, I've had that opportunity here later in my career to apply the things that I've learned. But, what I'll take the most from is, Coach Pearl likes to play up tempo, and we'll play up tempo and we will press, and we'll try to turn people over, and then we'll play defense and rebound. And that was the big key at Wichita State and Texas A&M was defense and rebounding win championships.
Yes, indeed. And folks, we're joined by the new coach, ETSU Bucks, Steve Forbes, right here on the Bossman Show with John Beckler here on the Boston Radio Network. And, Coach, you kind of alluded to it right here. When we watch your team play, me, John, any casual fan out there watching the game of basketball, when you guys play, what do you want the people to take away from watching your team play this upcoming season?
That's a great question. I really firmly believe this. I want fans, when they come to watch us play, when they leave, say, man, that team plays really, really hard, and they share the ball. If you ask probably people that have watched my team play over the past as a head coach in junior college, the team played very, very hard, and they shared the ball on offense. And I think those are simple things, boss man, but those are things I think people can relate to and things that people appreciate. And when our fans come and see that we're first to the floor, we're winning the 50-50 ball game, and we're passing the ball and sharing it and getting good shots, that's what I'm looking for. And an exciting brand of basketball where, we push it up the court. And I think, 30-second shot clock will help that a little bit, as we move forward here and the rules change. But those are the things that are important to me, and those are the things that I want our fans to appreciate as they come to see us play.
Now, Coach, JR's question dealt with how you're going to play on the court this upcoming season. My question is going to deal with who you're going to play on the court this upcoming season. Specifically, we'd like to talk to you about the non-conference scheduling. We know that some of the games are probably already scheduled for you, but once you're able to get into that non-conference schedule and make it up for yourself, what's going to be your intent, and how do you see yourself going about doing that?
Mm-hmm. Well, we've always played the places that I've been at Wichita State, especially in Tennessee. We always played a very challenging non-conference schedule, and I think with that you have to prepare your team for conference play. You want to challenge your team early, see what they're about, and get yourself prepared to win the conference. Now, you don't want to bury your team either. You don't want to overschedule. And so I've inherited some road games that we have to go play, a couple home games, and we're working on an MTE event that we're going to get into hopefully and, challenge our team. But as we move forward, I like to see a good balance of home and away games and not just all road games, and play teams that are going to challenge us, but yet we have the opportunity to beat. So when we do get to conference play, we're prepared and we do have some confidence. I know a lot of times teams tend sometimes overschedule and then they don't have any confidence going to conference. And I don't want that. I want our guys to feel good about themselves by winning, and I think that's something as we move forward and have a little bit more control, in the coming years over the schedule. It's important. I'd also like to attract some teams, that our fans want to see. Now, as you know, getting home games is hard to get, but we want to attract teams in here that our fans, our regional opponents that they're excited to watch play. And for example, next year we go to Tennessee this year. Next year we'll have Tennessee at home, and that'll be a big home game for this region, and I'm very appreciative of Tennessee coming on the road to play us, because normally those BCS schools do not do that, and it says a lot about them here and play us.
Yes, indeed, Coach. And also, Coach, I got to get your feelings on the new rules, the rule changes here. We got 30-second shot clock now. We're wide in the lane now. Is there anything else you like to see added? Me personally, this is like the Bossman rule. I want to see the ball advance at the end of the game. In the last 2 minutes of the game, timeout, advance the ball to the front court. That'll be more fun to me and exciting. Also, we get rid of the live ball timeout as well. I don't like that at all. So, but what's things you want to see the committee add maybe next year, Coach? Or do you think we're good where we're at right now?
Well, you bring up some great points, Bossman. I really would like to see the ball advance in the last, minute or 2 minutes of the game. Where strategy on the offensive end becomes even more. And if you watch the NBA, you have to have a plethora of side out of bounds plays to score, because you're afforded those opportunities a lot. I do like the fact that 10-second count does not start over. For a pressing team and a pressing philosophy, it's frustrating when you have an 8 count and you're trapping somebody and they call timeout, and all of a sudden the 10-second clock starts over again, or the count. And so I'm glad they changed that rule. As far as the 30-second shot clock, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how that plays into it. I hope it doesn't play into, bad shots, where you're not getting up the shots that you want. But I don't think it'll come into play much. The teams that I've played with and coached on the last 10 years, that never really became an issue. So, the lane issue, moving the charge arc up a little bit is a good deal. So you don't have guys playing underneath the basket. You have a little more space to drive the ball, which opens up the lane, and I think those are good things. But those all things are really good. And, as we move forward, I'm sure we'll rethink some things, but I really would like to see the ball advanced in the last minute or two of the game.
Coach, if you could expand a little bit, we talked earlier, and you alluded to many of the things that you've been doing since arriving in town and taking that program, taking the reins there at that program. So if you could expand a little bit on what a typical day has been like for you up to this point, and kind of where your focus is at right now.
It's funny. There's a lot of priorities. There's a lot of things to address when you take a job. And, I've had a lot of friends get Division I jobs, and I've always listened to what they had to say about how overwhelming it can be at times. And one of the first things you have to deal with is the massive amount of phone calls and emails and text messages that you get. And I've always been a person that's tried to return those, and no matter who it is. And that got to be a little overwhelming at times, and at a point where I probably couldn't return them all just because there just wasn't enough time in the day. So basically, I took the priority list and kind of shifted it from day to day. And the most important thing that I wanted, the first thing I wanted to do was hire a good staff, and I did that. I hired Jason Shea, who has worked with me at Tennessee for 7 years or 5 years. We were together 2 years in Northwest Florida. We won a lot of games together. He's a tremendous XNO coach, and we're very fortunate to have him. I hired Brooks Savage from the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. He was with us for 5 years at Tennessee and 2 years in Northwest Florida. He's been at Tulane, Presbyterian. He's got good Division I experience. He's young, and I really think he's going to do a great job. I hired Brian Collins he was the head coach at Columbia State in Tennessee, and he played for Rick Byrd at Belmont. And I hired Jeff Claypax, who was as a director of basketball operations, who was the DOBO at LSU when I was at Tennessee, and he was at Bowling Green just recently. And so I felt like that was the number one thing I had to do. And then I had to get to know the players the best I could in a short amount of time. I had about 30 days to get to know them before they went home, and then recruit. So, a typical day would be get up early and get in the office and field a lot of phone calls and emails, try to return them, visit with people here on campus, getting to know the faculty, getting to know the administration, talking to owners, doing lunch, with people that, need to get out in the community and see, and then the afternoon was based upon, being with the players and working them out and getting to know them. And then at night, getting on the phone and recruiting. And so the days are full. It's a good thing. My family's not here. My son is actually out here now, but my older son. But, for the most part, the first month or so, my family was back in Kansas. So I really, didn't have anything to really go home to. So I spent a lot of late nights here in the office and still do. And that'll be that way even when my family gets here. But, you just got to really be organized and look and attack each day for what it's worth and try to get the most out of it that you can.
And Coach Forbes, I gotta tell you, Brian Collins is a buddy of mine. I call him Penny. That's a buddy of mine. So glad you got him on staff. And like he'll tell you, he calls me Hustle because he calls I'm a hustler. He said, Boss man, you a hustler. I'm gonna call you Hustle. So he calls me Hustle. Ask him about Hustle. He'll tell you like, yeah, I know him as Hustle too. So we definitely got a friend in Penny right there up there with you, Coach. I'm looking forward to supporting you guys and seeing you guys play and seeing you guys do great things up there.
Well, I appreciate it. I really think the world of him. I think he's a young rising star in this business. It's interesting how he met. You know, he came down and worked camps when I was at the University of Tennessee. Tony Jones, our associate head coach at Tennessee, knew him very well. And then, you know, when I went to Northwest Florida, he brought his team down and played us, and I thought he did a really good job of coaching his team. And I like to remind him that I did whip him pretty good. And then after that, the last couple of years, you know, he went to Hutch, you know, national tournament with his team and did a great job. And so, you know, Penny's really good. And like I said, all of those guys are real fortunate to have a quality staff here. And that's the one, I think it's the most important thing to have because, you know, for the future of the program and the development of our players, I wanted to hire not only good people, but good coaches. And all of our guys are really, really good coaches.
Yes, indeed. Well, Coach, me and John have enjoyed your visit today. We'll do it again, no doubt, down the road, Coach, for season start. We'll keep an eye on the Bucks, and you know you always have a home here on the Bossman Show.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me, and I'd love to come on any time. And we'll keep plugging here, and hopefully sometime when we visit again, we can talk a little bit more in depth about the schedule and about the players that we have. Okay?
Yes, indeed, Coach. Thank you as always. Now.
All right, guys. Have a great day.
You too. Now, that was the coach, ETSU Bucks, Coach Steve Ford, coming up next on the Bossman Show. Louisiana Tech new head coach Eric Konkol on the Bossman Show.
Lift off.
All your photo, video, and voiceover needs, check out the fine folks at Blueberry Productions. They will take good care of you. If you don't believe me, you can see for yourself. Check out their work at blueberryproductions.tv, the Facebook page, Blueberry Productions, also a Vimeo page, a YouTube page, and it's Blueberry, BLUBERRY, Prod on Twitter. Check them out today. Blueberry Productions, great people, great work, great service. Hip-hop fans, I got a great album for you. The debut album from Family Grind ENT, True Speech and 313 Fresh. We're going to give you 2 discs, 33 songs of pure, genuine hip-hop. Albums available on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, illstreetrex.com, and streaming live right now on Rhapsody, Beats Music, Spotify, Xbox Music, Slacker Radio, and SoundCloud. Check them out today. True Speech and 313 Fresh. Family Grind ENT. Believe in it. Get it.
The Bossman Show with John Beckler. We're now joined by the new coach who's going to take Bulldogs, Coach Eric Konkol on the Bossman Show. Coach, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, JR. It's great to be with you.
Yes, indeed, Coach. Congrats on getting this job at Louisiana Tech. You know, like I was telling up there, I watched your teams in Miami. You and Coach Huger and Coach Larry Nathan. I was like, wow, I got to get him on the show. And, Coach, so how does it feel now? have your own program, Louisiana Tech, down there in Ruston, Louisiana. What you gonna have us looking up to see this season from you and your Bulldogs now that you're the man at the helm now?
Well, it feels great, JR. It's been a lifelong dream to be a head coach, and I'm very appreciative of Tommy McClain and Dr. Geis for giving me the opportunity to be here. And then it's just a great place, a terrific school academically, with athletic success. And Ruston, Louisiana is just a wonderful place to live and raise a family. So I couldn't be more excited to be here.
And Coach, since you've been there, how has the community been? Have you had a chance to get out into the community? Any kind of school-sponsored events with maybe boosters or some of the other, members of that community where the university is located there in Ruston?
Yeah, I definitely have. It's been great. People have been so welcoming and warm. There was an event when I first got here with several supporters and people and families, and one, they're really excited to have a new coach and be able to meet me, and it was very nice for me to meet them. But the first thing that they then do is, hey, if we can help you in any way, help you with a school to pick or a neighborhood to live in or anything that you need. People have just been so welcoming. And then it's a smaller town. It's a community, and me and two of the new assistants, we actually had to stop by the grocery store. We're all living together in an apartment nearby until we find more permanent housing, and people are coming up to us and want to talk about the team, and people just really, really enjoy Louisiana Tech athletics, the school, and they're just been. I can't say enough how welcoming they've been. It's been very exciting.
And Coach, I just want to ask you, comparing weather-wise, Miami to Ruston, how is it so far?
They said we've had a lot of rain here, more rain than normal. But it's a beautiful day outside today in Ruston. And I had somebody tell me, I was talking to one of the parents of our current players, and they're from Florida, and they said, "Well, Coach, how are you gonna handle moving from Miami to Louisiana? That's going to be a lot colder." And I said, "Well, I spent the first 23 years of my life in Wisconsin, so I think I'll be able to handle it just fine."
Oh no, Wisconsin delight, Coach. Wisconsin delight, Coach. That's Coach. I'm telling you, I'm a Florida guy. That's too cold for me. I confess this earlier this year, there was a snowstorm, and I was in the house 5 days. I was stuck. John, tell you, I was about to lose my mind. So snow and me does not agree.
Wow, I don't miss it one bit. I'm with you.
And also, Coach, when it comes to recruiting, getting kids want to come to Ruston, Louisiana, to play with you in La Tech, and also, you coached in Miami as well. So with that track record you have from coaching in Miami, a bigger name school, now you bring it to Louisiana Tech, Conference USA. What are you going to look for in players that you want to bring in, and how are you going to sell that to players who may not get to go to a BCS school, want to still play D1 basketball in a nice community, a nice university, a nice degree? So how are you going to sell Ruston to a kid like who out of maybe Mobile, Alabama, or a kid out of Augusta, Georgia wants to come out to Ruston? How are you going to sell that to them?
Sure. Well, if you look at nationally, JR, that the number one common denominator in most kids' decisions with their families is distance from home. It just happens so often. So we want to first work inside out. We want to look very close to Ruston, and within a 5-hour drive, and if you just draw a circle of 5 hours from us, you've got Dallas, you've got Little Rock, you've got Memphis, you've got Houston, you've got New Orleans, and all the little places in between. There's a lot of players right around here. So we want to first start there, and then we want to keep that pipeline going to Florida, where we've got players over the years have a lot of success. And then we want to sell them a great education. Louisiana Tech is a Tier 1 research national institution. And two, that's this community environment where you come here and the people really gravitate towards our players. They really welcome them with open arms. They support them completely. And then, of course, we want to sell our staff. We've hired some great assistant coaches that will be completely focused on our players' development and well-being while they're here at La Tech and many years after.
JR alluded to this earlier, but, coming up through the coaching ranks, obviously Coach Larrañaga is someone who, you could take a lot away from. what did he mean to you personally, or has he meant to you personally, your coaching career? And what are some of the things that maybe not only Coach Larrañaga, but other coaches that you've had a chance to work with through your career, what are you going to take away from those guys and bring into your new program there with the Bulldogs?
Sure. Well, I think everybody is a combination of their past experiences and the people that they've come across. And I've spent 11 years with Coach Larrañaga, and he's been a great mentor, a great friend, and he's been just wonderful to me and my family. And certainly I wouldn't be here without him. But I've had some great coaches, and really the coaches that I grew up with really inspired me to become a coach. My high school coach, Greg Jensen, he's been the high school coach there for a long time, and I remember being a young kid and really looking up to him and feeling like, man, I'd like to be like Coach Jensen one day. And then I spent a couple of years with Coach Ryan, who's now at Wisconsin. He was a small college coach at Wisconsin-Platteville, and I really saw how a professional program could be run. At the small college level, we were very successful, and I can see all the things that he did there. Now he's doing at Wisconsin, and obviously he's been very successful there. And all through the way, I've had just great interactions with great people, great coaches, and I'll take a little bit from everybody, and that's has really become me.
Now, Coach, over the course of the past few years, JR and I have spoke to many, many coaches, whether it be football, basketball, what have you. And one thing that we've taken away from all of them is the emphasis that they place on leadership. So it prompted us to start asking the questions about leadership and your leadership style and how you go about being a leader, because it is so important to the program that the man at the top is someone that they can look up to and take the cue from on what they're supposed to be doing, mainly your players in the community, on the court, who they're supposed to be, who you want them to be as a representative of the university. What's your leadership style like, if you can expand on that for us?
Sure. Well, I think the first thing a leader does is has to come up with a vision of what this is going to look like, and then each member of the unit has a role that's defined by that leader, and then the leader empowers them to execute that role to the best of their ability. So my role as a leader is, one, I'm going to be very, very positive with people. I'm going to encourage them. I'm also going to be direct with them and have a great expectation for them to fulfill that role. Now, sometimes that role initially is not what someone may want, but it's the role that's best for that team. And there's got to be a lot of discussion and talk and affirmation so they understand, hey, this is my role. And then, two, we're going to be completely committed, and that commitment comes from me. These guys are going to know that I'm going to give them everything I got to help them become their best, and they're going to get that from my staff, and I expect that from each one of them to be totally and unconditionally committed to the health of the program. And then also, I think leadership comes down to class, and that's behaving in a first-class manner, representing the university, being a family man, treating the players and people around the program with respect. And I think when you lead by example, when you provide a vision, and you empower those guys inside the program to achieve, that's a leader.
Yes, indeed. And, Coach, we're joined by the coach of the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs, Coach Eric Konkol, right here on the Bossman Show with JR and John Beckler here. Now, Coach, when we watch your team play this year in Conference USA, non-conference, and all over the United States, when you guys do your thing, what do you want people to take away from watching your team play? When somebody watches the Bulldogs, what do you want them to say about your team after they watch that game that night or day, what time you guys play?
Sure. Well, I think the greatest compliment any coach can get is that their team plays really, really hard, and that's something that we certainly want to hold our hat on. And we want to play fast, and we want to play very aggressive, and that's on both ends of the floor. So when someone leaves the building, I want them to feel like, wow, that team, they really got after it. They were fun to watch. They got up and down the floor. They really tried to create turnovers and score baskets off those turnovers, and then when they were in the half court, they really shared the ball and found ways to get guys great shots. And so I want to play a very fast, a very aggressive, team-oriented style that is not only fun to watch, but I think very, very effective and fits Louisiana Tech very well.
And, Coach, we also like to get a coach's opinion on their non-conference schedule. And being a new coach, we understand that some of those games are already set up for you. But once you're able to get into the mix of setting up that non-conference schedule in the manner that you would like it done, what's going to be your intent in setting those games up, and how do you foresee yourself going about doing that?
Well, we want a balanced schedule, and we certainly want to have games at home and games away, and you want to be ready to play in Conference USA and be prepared for that. And then there's all types of considerations from scheduling is really a matchmaking process. It's who's got the right date, who's got the right place, and then sometimes there can be financial considerations mixed into that as to when you play home or away. So it's a real puzzle. We want to get to the point where our non-conference schedule is a real strong point in our resume of getting an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. That's our goal, is to get to the NCAA tournament, and we'd like our schedule to really show that we've challenged ourselves, we've played good teams, and then of course you got to win enough games to be in position like that. So we want to play some teams that are great opponents. We want to also be able to play games at home so our fans can enjoy our team, because we've got great fans in a well-attended arena, and it's just a real puzzle of fitting all those things together. And I know it's been a challenge here, partly because there's been great success here, and it's you're going to find like teams who also are great at home to play. And I expect us to have a great non-conference schedule.
And, Coach, what are your feelings on the rules that's been instituted by the Rules Committee, 30-second shot clock, widening the lane? Are there any rules that you'd like to see added to the game that was not addressed this go-around? We feel like the game's in order, and too many people that's railing on the game, and it's really a good game. People just want to complain about something. So how do you feel about that with all these comments about the game of college basketball and where it's going, where it should be, and all that kind of good stuff?
Right. Yeah, I think I'm certainly fine with the shot clock. I think there's so many different ways to play. International basketball is now at 24 seconds. Of course, the NBA is at 24. I think 24 would have been a huge jump, but I think 30 is about right. And I'd also like to see them widening the lane. I feel like until the game is cleaned up with hand checking, physical play, it's still going to become difficult to score. And I think early on with 30-second clock, like we found in the NIT, those 5 seconds make a difference. And there's going to be a couple times where you feel a little bit rushed, but if the game is so physical, it's just difficult to score. And also in the NBA, you have the defensive 3 seconds. You can't have guys in the lane. The spacing's so much different. Those rules really impact the flow of offensive basketball. So I'm very curious to see how scoring is impacted. I know there's going to be a few more possessions per game, but I think the lane being wider, I don't know if we can ever do defensive 3 seconds in the college game, but those things make a big difference in the NBA.
Coach, I'm sorry. Go ahead, JR.
And Coach, I wanted to say this to you, Coach. I wish it was 24 seconds myself and 14-minute quarters. You could advance the ball to the front court in the last 2 minutes of the game, because I think that would make the game more exciting. And you can get that extra time out with the quarter break, 14-minute quarters. We play quarters in high school and in pro ball, why not in college ball as well? 24 seconds and that advancing the ball, I think that'll be great for the game. It'll actually make the pace be better too, and make coaches think more and just go with hold the ball for 25 seconds, then go on the ice, come up a ball screen, then try to find an open jumper or pick and pop. So I think they'll make offense more exciting rather than to just hold the ball and defense just sit there and wait for the guy to run on the motion, let other flex cut or whatever they're going to do, and just the same old, same old.
Well, I think I think you're making a great point, JR. I think it's one of the things that make the NBA so exciting is how they can advance to half court, and the strategy is so much different. Some teams, they want to take the shot when the horn goes off because they don't want to give a team 1 second because they can get up to half court and run a nice side out of bounds play to get a shot off. So the strategy becomes so different. I know I've done some international recruiting before and watched a lot of FIBA games with young kids, and they play 4 quarters. The fouls are different. Once you get to 5 fouls in a quarter, it's automatically 2 shots. So they'll intentionally foul on a fast break. Like, there's just a different strategy to the whole game, and it's neat to watch.
Now, Coach, something that we typically ask is, the typical day in the life of a coach. And I'm going to forego that question in this interview because you mentioned earlier that you had been spending time and you had to live together with a couple of the assistants, until you guys all find more permanent housing. I got to get the breakdown on that. Are you the coach at home too? Like what you say goes? Are you the ruler of the roost or what?
I've been fortunate to hire some guys that I've known and worked together or even coached before. I very much look at this as, hey, we're working together, and then when it comes to a final decision, it's my job to make that final decision. But we really enjoy each other's company. It's by design. I know that we were going to spend so much time together, of course, in the beginning, but even as we get settled with our families, our staff spends so much time together, and you really need to be able to enjoy the guys you're around so much. But we've been able to really get a lot of work done. We've been here a little over 2 weeks, and there's so many things to do to get settled. We have July recruiting coming up. Our players are coming back for summer school, and of course we're trying to get settled. But it's really been, we sleep and we're eating and we're waking up and living basketball all day long. It's a lot of fun.
Now, Coach, I saw you guys, your team played twice last year against Western Kentucky and Middle Tennessee. How many of those guys are coming back that I may have saw this past season?
I'm sorry, Jerry, you cut out there. Can you say that again?
No, y'all still. I watched you guys play against Western Kentucky and against Middle Tennessee last year. And I was saying, how many of those guys will be coming back that I may have seen play the Blue Raiders and Western Kentucky last year when I watched you guys play?
Oh, okay. Yes, we have 3 seniors graduate: Raheem Appleby, Speedy Smith, and Michael Kaiser, and those 3 guys were terrific, and they played about 50% of the minutes. And we have some young players in this program that are talented, and they're ready for an elevated role. So we're losing some leadership, but I think we've got some good guys in place, and they're excited to work hard this summer and fall and be ready for a great role and to help lead this team.
Yes, indeed. Well, Coach, I tell you what, you're on a great conference. I get to watch you guys play because you all play Charlotte, Middle Tennessee, Western Kentucky, the UAB schools who are part of our coverage area. So we'll get to see you, Coach. We can see you on the road and see you in person and tell you how much we appreciate you and talking to you because we have a lot of listeners who love the schools in this conference, and we love to bring a different flavor to it with Louisiana Tech now as well. So glad to have you in the fall, Coach, forward to building a relationship with you going forward and supporting the Bulldogs as well.
Well, I appreciate that, guys. I'm so appreciative of you having me on, and you're right. It's a great league, ultra competitive, great schools, terrific coaches. It's gonna be so competitive, and that's really what we're all about. We want that challenge.
Yes, indeed. Well, Coach, we thank you again. We'll do it again real soon now.
I look forward to it, guys. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. That was the coach of Louisiana Tech Bulldogs, Coach Eric Konkol, right here on the Bossman Show. Coming up next, about to get scandalous with Sytonnia on the Bossman Show. For all your photo, video, and voiceover needs, check out the fine folks at Blu-ray Productions. They will take good care of you. If you don't believe me, you can see for yourself. Check out their work at blueberryproductions.tv, the Facebook page, Blueberry Productions, also a Vimeo page, a YouTube page, and it's Blueberry, BLUBERRY, Prod on Twitter. Check them out today. Blueberry Productions, great people, great work, great service. Hip-hop fans, I got a great album for you.
The debut album from Family Grind ENT, True Speech and 313 Fresh. We're going to give you 2 discs, 33 songs of pure, genuine hip-hop. Albums available on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, illstreetrex.com, and streaming live right now on Rhapsody, Beats Music, Spotify, Xbox Music, Slacker Radio, and SoundCloud. Check them out today. True Speech and 313 Fresh. Family Grind ENT. Believe in it. Get it.
Welcome back to the Bossman Show with John Beckler. It's the time of the week where we get scandalous. The one on Sytonnia right here on the Bossman Show. What's good,
Hi,
Sytonnia?
JR. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
Very well today. How are you guys doing?
John, I know John's having a rough day over there.
John, yeah, that's like, like, how you doing? How are you, John? What's wrong today?
No, nothing's wrong. I'm all good. It just, every once in a while you get caught up, you know what I'm saying? You have a day where you just get caught up in spots where you don't want to be at, you know what I'm saying?
I have to ask. Would one of these spots involve a woman?
No. I generally am the type. I'm the type. I don't have issues in that department. Okay, I'm good to go there. I don't have any issues. I grew up with three. I got 3 older sisters, so I know what's up, right? I know.
John's like, I got 99 problems, and that ain't one.
No, that ain't one. Okay. I kept missing my window today. Like I'd be in the most inopportune place, and all of a sudden, I would have to go to the restroom, but I couldn't. You know what I'm saying? So I got caught up,
What are you struggling with today? Do you have stomach problems today?
I got a case of the bubble guts.
Okay. That will do it to you, John. Oh my gosh, you drive me up. Okay, yeah. All right, well, you get a pass.
I was trying to sugarcoat it for you, but there really is no way to sugarcoat it. You just sometimes
just put it on out there.
Yep. Sometimes you just got to drop it on out there, if you know what I mean.
Exactly.
No pun intended.
Uh-huh.
You guys are crazy. Oh my God, you're crazy.
Speaking of dropping things and blowing things out the water, the Hawks have brought the Pac-Man back officially as their primary logo. Now the Atlanta Hawks basketball club in Sytonnia, which is you're the girl here, you and that kind of cutesy aesthetics of things. How do you like the logo? You like the secondary logo to the look of the Phoenix, maybe? I don't like that logo too much, but I like the Pac-Man's back. So what's your feeling on the Hawks logo all through and through?
I'm kind of with you. I mean, of course there are 2 of them. So, but the primary one is the modern version of old Pac-Man. And I don't know. I'm like, if you're going to let Pac-Man live, you got to let him live. You can't enclose him the way that they did. But, I mean, I guess it has some meaning behind it. And the secondary one has, that logo has some meaning behind it. It's paying tribute to the history of the city of Atlanta. Basically, the wings of a hawk lift the basketball engulfed in flames, symbolizing how the city of Atlanta rose from the ashes to become one of the nation's leading international cities. So I get it. Makes me like it a little bit more. But yeah, I'm torn. But I will say if I had to choose, I would go ahead and I like the fire behind the secondary one, but the primary one with the Pac-Man, I would roll with that one. But I just think they could have done it a little bit. They're also revealing some new uniforms too, so maybe it's part of the movement.
Maybe so, because I know secondary logo did not sit well with me. I'm all Pac, man, or I'm all nothing. I'm in with the Pac. I'm not with the Pac. So Pac is where it needs to be. So I will not be getting secondary Hawk gear. I'm telling you that right now, people. You'll see me in Pac-Man gear. That's what I rock with.
Yeah,
And,
that would be actually
we'll
kind
have
of
a lot
dope,
of to work with. So yeah.
Yeah, and you can expect those new uniforms to be unveiled before the draft. So everyone's excited to see it. But so far, the fanfare in Atlanta, people are very accepting to the new logo. So we'll see. We'll see how it looks on some clothing here in a minute. It's a good jersey.
Well, JR, if you don't mind, I mean, I kind of like the Hawks old school retro logo. That's my preference as it relates to the Hawks. I like the old school. I like the new color scheme better than the old color scheme, but I like the old logo better than the newer logo that they had prior to this year's new unveiling. So for me, the retro logos are pretty cool. I'm kind of about that retro life, so I dig that one. But some of the newer ones, they're kind of a little bit. I guess they're too. They try to make them too modern or too futuristic. I guess is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I feel you, John. I do. And I'm with you guys. Like, if you're going to do Pac-Man, you just got to let it be Pac-Man. You can't close it up with, the what do they have? It's like the Atlanta Hawks Basketball Club word mark.
Yeah,
so,
the Atlanta Hawks Basketball Club. Really, this is the MLB Hawks.
Yeah.
This
it's
come
like,
on,
come on. I mean, yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah. So, did you go to the Hawks rally today? Did you go to City Hall today for the rally? Did you see what was going on with there with Kasim Reed and all the guys up there? Coach Bud, Steve Coon.
Say that one more time. I was losing you, JR.
Oh yeah, okay. That's what's up. I was saying that you go to the Hawks the rally today at City Hall with Kasim Reed, Steve Coonan, and Coach Bud and some
the
of the players
rally
up
today?
there. Did you go up there to it?
No. Today I was actually with Magic Johnson. So there's so much going on in the city. But tell me, like, what have you heard? How did it go?
My sources tell me it went really well. People were very happy. The mayor's happy. The players were appreciative. So was Coach Bud. So I think finally the Hawks have made inroads here in Atlanta, as with the fanfare, and they're connecting with the urban Atlanta, not so much suburban Atlanta, because they don't come down to the games anyway. So they have got that going for them real nice. So from what I hear, it was real good for the city and for the team and for everybody involved.
I hope so. And I just hope that, because the telltale of it all is going to be the draft. Who stays, who goes, into the season, free agency. So I just hope the team doesn't shift too much. And it's funny because we have an exclusive with Damari Carroll next week. So, of course, I'll be sure to include you guys in on that. And it'll be interesting to see what he has to say on what his plans are. Because, honestly, I will say, to tie into the Hawks and their future, Magic Johnson even confirmed today that the Hawks need a star. Like, it's the only way it's going to happen. I think we were talking about that a couple of weeks ago. So, yeah.
Yes, we were.
But that's very interesting. It's very, very interesting.
Well, I want to shift it away from the Hawks for a moment, if we can, Sytonnia, and I want to get your opinion on the young man Prince Shembo and this whole scenario that's been played out in front of us. I want you to lay it out there for us because I'm sure you have an opinion on it, and then I'll come in if I have any kind of interjection.
Okay, well, I mean, for me, I'm just highly disappointed. So first, a little bit of background. Of course, he's former Falcons linebacker, and he came out, fourth round, and he had a really good season last year. Future looked pretty bright, but of course, the charges came out, and you got felony animal cruelty charges after he allegedly kicked his then-girlfriend's dog to death because, of course, she broke up with him after he did it. But now, not only is, unemployment a problem, because, of course, the Falcons dropped him, But Denicia Williams, the girlfriend, or the ex-girlfriend, I should say, she's suing him for killing her dog. The dog's name was Dior, and Shimbo's attorney is saying that basically it was an accident. His ex-girlfriend is saying it wasn't an accident, that she thought that Shimbo actually planned to hurt the dog when she left because he was jealous of the dog. He thought that, she spent too much time with the dog, more time with the dog than him. His attorney is saying that it's ridiculous, absurd. He was not jealous of the dog. He says that basically the dog bit Shimbo, and that is what caused the dog's injuries. And I'm like, okay, no. The dog biting Shimbo didn't cause the injury. Shimbo reacting to the dog possibly biting him caused the injuries. But, of course, the girlfriend is saying that Shimbo never mentioned the dog biting him. And he just got out, said he kicked the dog. And they're also trying to say, his attorney is also trying to say that when they took him to the vet, that they gave him a shot and that it's possible that the shot killed the little dog. So I'm sure they're going to try to use that in his defense. There are also reports that Shimbo tried to flee the country when it came out that he was going to be charged. That's allegedly, though. And it's sad because he is only 23 years old. And as we said, animal cruelty and the necropsy report performed at the hospital said that the cause of death was blunt force trauma. And basically to describe this little dog's injuries, it was just, you could basically describe it to someone just taking a dog and using it like a soccer ball. Like literally, the dog had so many injuries, there's too many to name. There's too many to name. And I can only imagine how much he suffered because he didn't die at the house or wherever Shimbo had him. He actually died once he got to the vet. So, yeah, pretty sad story. And he could be facing some time behind this.
Now, I wanted to tack on everything that you described there from what I've read is accurate. And I can't dispute any of that stuff. Now, I will say that in this young man's background, leading up to not only the draft, but leading up to his college career, he had apparently some issue with a teacher in high school who had, taken a cell phone away from him during class, and he threw a desk apparently at the teacher. Now, we don't know the particulars.
Boss report story.
Yeah, that's a boss report story. Then, in college, there was an accusation of rape by a young woman at St. Mary's College. Yeah. That never went anywhere, and there was a lot.
And
still...
she killed herself.
Right. She basically, as many rape victims do, have nowhere to turn or have, it turns into a very serious psychological situation for a young woman, and that's a very, very sad part of this. Now, this young man goes on to the NFL, as you said, a 4th-round pick. He has a nice season, and then he attacks this dog. Whatever the circumstances, dude, you killed a dog, and you're starting to really
and violently.
Yeah, violently, and you look kind of like a psychopath, really. I mean, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting here, man. You have trouble controlling your anger. You assaulted a woman allegedly, but there's, where there's smoke, there's fire. I will say, that the woman took her own life based off of this. It's not something that she was just throwing out there as, trying to hook you into, a baby mama situation or anything like that. So this is a serious situation. Now you got this dog that you assaulted and killed, and he's going to have a tough time, I think, getting back into the league after this, because these teams are starting to take notice of these guys a little bit more. You look at the Johnny Manziels, the Josh Gordons, just in the Cleveland market. Now, you go to all these other teams, there's guys in all these teams that are doing this stuff that are kind of quote-unquote bad apples. They're just not getting caught. And these teams are getting sick of it. He's going to have a tough time finding work. I got one more point for you. Go ahead.
I got one more point for you. And if you're a Falcon player, the last thing you can get caught up in is animal cruelty after the Mike Vick situation.
No doubt.
The last possible thing is a Falcon player.
Good point.
I mean, of all things, they'd rather you kill somebody than have an animal cruelty case after the Mike Vick case. Now, so I'm just saying, Mr. Shimbo, Prince Shimbo, my man, get your mind right. You know what I mean? For real. Listen to TK. What's that song, John? TK Cash. Get your mind right. Listen to that song, player.
Exactly.
You need to leave that dog alone and get your mind right. Player.
Right.
Now,
right.
I will ask you two flat out. Would it surprise either of you if Prince Shembo at some point in the future pops up in a situation, in an Aaron Hernandez type situation?
Wouldn't shock me.
At this point, nah, it wouldn't shock me either. Because, hey, psychopaths can be athletic too. And you made a good point when you were saying how the league, you know, they're starting to keep a close eye on things and these players and who exactly they have in the organization, because it's like serious. I mean, he was probably with Aaron. No, I'm just kidding. But no, he, you know, seriously, like I wouldn't put it past him. I would not put it past him.
Princenthal and Aaronthal.
You got it, man. Listen, and it goes without saying that these teams, and I don't want to belabor the point, they have their own security staffs. They vet these players as much as anybody can be vetted before they bring them into the organization. But I will say that now they know what they're getting into. They don't put up with as much crap as they would have in the past, I believe. So this young man, where he may have this situation play out in the past, he may have been able to continue playing for the Falcons as the situation played out. They might have been able to try to spin some of the media coverage and those types of things to keep him on the field. I don't think you can do that now with all the negative stuff that's happened over the course of the past 2 to 3 years in the NFL. I mean, think about all the negative player stories that have come out, especially now with the social media age. We say it all the time. Everything is known immediately and blown way out of proportion. Even if it's not blown out of proportion and it's a true story, it just gets so much coverage that these teams, they don't want to deal with it. They're like, forget it, man. We don't even want to attempt to try to spin this. It's a losing battle.
True that.
Right.
That's 2 Chainz will say, true. So you know, we got that going. And while we got on the line with us, what's going on in Atlanta this weekend? What's going on this week in ATL before we get to some special Boss Report stories today?
Well, like I said earlier, Magic Johnson was here this week. So he's participating in the Sky's the Limit basketball camp. So it was really cool. He talked to the kids about being successful on and off the court. So that's going on this week. I don't know if he's going to be here all week, but it was really cool to see him in the inner city and at Osborne. It was over at Osborne High School. And, and just really talking to the kids and spreading some inspiration and some good, it was good, feel good moments. And also, of course, the Atlanta Braves will take on the Pittsburgh Pirates at Turner Field on the 5th, 6th, and 7th. And also the Atlanta Dream, they play on Sunday. They play the Connecticut Sun. We are also getting ready for a little bit of entertainment. You guys know you love New Kids on the Block. Okay, so New Kids on the Block are coming with TLC and Nelly. So I'm sure a lot of old school people will love that. That's on the 6th, actually, at Phillips Arena. And Third Eye Blind is coming, along with Dashboard Confessional at Chastain Park Campus Theater. And yeah, and then like on the educational tip, got to throw this in. You talked about the mayor earlier. Kudos to the mayor because he's just everywhere. But they're starting and this is for all the parents or kids, just especially that little brothers or sisters or whatever. Just the kids need to keep reading over the summer, just because it's summer break. Don't stop. So in support of First Lady Michelle Obama's Let's Read, Let's Move initiative, the Children's Museum is joining forces with the mayor. And they're starting off their summer reading club. So that jumps off on the 6th as well. So parents can inquire about that. And yeah, that's what's going on this week.
That's what's going on in the ATL with Sytonnia on the Bossman Show. Scandalous. You know what I'm saying, people? Scandalous. And you know what's scandalous right now coming up? These stories I got some out of my chest today, guys. I was in my chest today. Let me get some stories for them to chomp on today out of the Bossman treasure chest. And first story is this. Georgia commerce worker arrested and fired after beating his meat on the front row of refresher training course because of the cakes of the woman who was sitting next to him. Got him off.
Dude, front
Did
row.
you say what I think you said?
He said exactly what you think he said. This
Like
dude,
meat as in like his salami?
yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah. He didn't even front row. JR, front row center. Didn't even go to the back row to try to hide it. Front row center.
Oh my gosh. What a nasty pervert. What in the world was he trying to get going this morning? No, seriously. What in the world? Who does that? I mean, I'm sorry, I just have this image of him, like, I mean, on the front row, like, giggling his stuff, or, like, smacking it back and forth to where it's popping each thigh. I don't know, just that image is stuck in my head. You guys have just, like, slapping salami, like, thigh-slapping salami. He was not playing with his meat. That is horrible.
I can't even continue with the story because of the way that you were saying thigh-slapping salami.
This is unbelievable. Did that really happen?
You got me tired.
Yes, it did.
You know it did.
It came through today at 1:13 p.m. on my list of things that came in, and I had to put it in today. So, you know.
Oh, my gosh.
That's
my gosh.
It's a thigh slapper.
And you know what's sad? He probably shook somebody's hand. You know he did. Hey, how you doing?
Employees must wash hands before returning to work.
Right. You know what I mean?
Oh,
wow.
God. Terrible.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Well, a New York couple had to be rushed to the hospital after mistaking industrial superglue for sexual lubricant.
Ooh, that's a tragic mistake
painful.
Right there. Tragic
Got
mistake.
To be more careful.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Absolutely. Like, what? I mean, but why is it so close? Why is it so close to the KY? You know what I'm saying?
That's number one. And number two, don't they know that even if they get them apart, that they're going to have some burns and ripping, and the skin, like, they're going to have some serious lesions going on. Like, what? That is an absolute fail. How do you mistake
I don't know, man. He must have been using it in the bedroom for something and then set it down, and things started to pop off, and next thing you know,
maybe he didn't look over.
Yeah.
He's grabbing and reaching and...
Well, I got a solution, guys. The headboard broke or a bedpost broke. He had to glue it together, put it on the dresser, and forgot.
Your imagination is incredible.
That's actually a viable scenario. That is a viable scenario. JR, I will accept that. I will accept that.
Good answer.
Yes.
Speaking from experience, this is entirely possible.
Yes.
Oh God.
Yes, I've had it happen to me too. Well, I've had the bed from the bottom give out, not the headboard itself. So, like, the bed just kind of hit the floor.
What do you mean the bed from the bottom gave out? Like, what were you doing, JR?
Taking care of business.
I was going missionary, and it just kind of the force of the strokes I was doling out caused the bed to explode from the bottom, obviously.
All right, now when the phone lines start blowing up for a whole different reason, because you just started your porn career, then don't say anything.
You asked the question, so I answered it honestly.
You the bed breaker.
Listen,
JR, the bed breaker.
You should know by now that we are going to give you an honest answer. Earlier in the show, you asked me what was the problem with my day. I told you. You just asked JR how he broke the bed. He told you. We're going to give you a straight answer over here.
I love it. Keep it straight.
Oh, yes. And this is another story that's
no
going to throw me off. Not at all, because you know what? Now, this story, I can understand this story, but I wouldn't do it. South Carolina man is arrested for grabbing butts, but also sniffing the butt at a local festival. Now, grabbing the butt, I can somewhat understand that. Sniffing the butt, I don't understand it at all. So, but he's arrested for doing both.
Wait. What did he do? He grabbed the butt?
Grabbed some butts, and he sniffed some butts at a local festival.
Did you say sniff?
Yes.
As in like
the
smell?
grabbing I understand. Sniffing I don't.
That's disgusting. Come on. Who? Oh, MG. Who walks around smelling people's butts? Like, maybe he really likes crack. Like, I don't. Okay, did y'all get my joke?
Yeah, oh yeah, I got it.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
I get it.
Okay, so it was a pretty good one. We'll take it. No, seriously though, that's disgusting.
Look here.
Yeah.
I would grab a butt. I ain't gonna sniff a butt. You know.
Yeah, I
might
would
as well
grab a butt, but I'm not gonna
right
sniff
there on
it.
the spot. You know, like
yeah,
shoot.
I'm not gonna sniff it.
Like here, like if I'm at a gym and I see a young lady, you know, with nice derriere, you know, it might think JR might say, "You want to grab this?" Which I'm saying, I'm mature enough, I'm experienced enough not to go attack and grab it. But obviously, South Carolina man is gonna go grab it, sniff it, do whatever he can to. But player, really, John, we love wear.
I tell you know, from a woman's perspective, if a man walks up to you and he starts smelling on you in inappropriate areas, like, yeah, red flag. He's going to want to do some really strange, kinky stuff at home. And the best thing at that point is to just exit stage left because he's, psycho alert. Like, that guy from 50 Shades of Grey would have nothing on a guy that walks around sniffing people. What is he looking for? Or maybe it's that animalistic, maybe his sense of smell is the most powerful.
Look at here. I don't care how fine a woman is. I don't care how fine a woman is. I'm not about to be sniffing her butt. Even out the shower.
Yeah.
I'm not. But,
not to be too graphic, but I can understand a man, kinky, like maybe kinky urge to smell or try to sniff a woman's,
derriere.
The other side? No, the other side. But,
hey, okay. Yeah, I get that.
But to sniff her butt cheeks, that's just not.
How about this? I get even kissing the butt cheek. I get that after a shower. You know, you want to get on, cool.
Did you say kiss the butt cheek?
Yeah, kiss the butt cheek. I understand that too.
Okay, yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand, you know, you want to dive in the love below. I get that too. But to actually go head first to the actual anus, I'm like, what are you doing, player?
Yeah,
what's wrong with you?
Gross. I mean, first of all, there are certain, that's just not. There's nothing sexy about that. There's nothing, something. So maybe he has a fetish, but no. No. Stick to feet or toes or, something. And you can't, first of all, you catch a charge. You cannot walk around sniffing people's butt.
Well, this is the thing that jumps out to me in this whole scenario. Like, how funky does a butt have to be for you to be able to smell it through somebody's clothes or whatever? Dude, right? That's some funk. So
that's what I'm like. Why would you? What are you looking? Yeah, what's he smell? What's he looking for? What's he smelling for?
Dude, you don't want no part of
that.
That
is some funk, John. That's some funk. Like if you can smell.
This has been one of the most funniest stories ever, and we got one final story for you. Privy priest arrested after grabbing redonkulous woman's assets on the plane.
A priest?
Yes.
Mm.
Oh, that's tame for a Boss Report priest. That's tame. That's that's nothing.
Hilarious.
We've had salami slapping priests before.
OMG.
Yeah.
Yes, we have.
Oh yeah.
So.
You know what? I actually know. Well, you guys have seen them all in the paper. There are some pretty perverted priests out there.
No doubt.
Yes.
They will not hesitate to reach out and touch in the name of the Heavenly Father. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
I'm here to tell you.
Amen. And I have a PSA out there, too, for the people of the Bossman Radio Network and people of Atlanta. If I get wind that you went and grabbed Sytonnia's butt, I'm going to go kick your candy ass personally. I will leave wherever I'm at, fly down, drop down,
funny.
bust down, and whoop your candy ass.
Please do, because you know that still happens every now and then. I'm like, how old are we? That still happens every now and then. And
you should call me about it.
Yeah, he's like, I just couldn't resist. I'm like, you're going to catch a charge. Don't touch me.
Hey, look, call,
yeah,
look
no
at
idea.
Call John or 5 for 1. So yeah.
That's crazy. John and JR.
You know. Look here. I'm the ass kicker around here. If I hear anybody grabbing asses of people I deal with, I kick the ass for it. Cause see, I'm always the problem solver. That's what people call me. I'm the problem solver. That's what people call me. So they know when JR gets involved, he's trouble. Don't call JR. He's gonna be angry. He'll kick my ass.
He's a feisty one of the group. Yeah.
So
crazy.
So
JR.
Before we close up today, I need to get your opinions on today's treasure chest stories come out the Bossman chest.
Well, listen, I'm just glad that we haven't had any one of these guys that we talked about today in the vicinity of our lovely new friend Sytonnia. We wanted to try to keep her sheltered from these situations, JR. We're warning her about these types of events in the world, so you have to be careful now, Sytonnia. There's a new threat to you and your backside out there. There are men sniffing butts out there, so be careful.
Save the cheek.
Yeah.
Save the cheeks.
Save the cheeks is right.
Hashtag save the cheeks. And John, you put that on a T-shirt on a website. Save the cheeks.
Yes, we'll get it up there.
So that's what's up.
Seriously.
Well, Sytonnia has been great as always, and we'll do it again next week, Mommy, okay?
Yes, I had a blast. Good to talk to you guys. Bye, JR. Bye, John.
All right, we'll see you later.
Hey, I'll see you Saturday, okay?
Yes, you will. In a few days. Yes. To be continued.
All right. Yes, indeed. All right. You be good now.
Okay, darling. Okay, you too. Bye, you guys.
Bye. Folks, that's Sytonnia. Join us. Everybody on the Bossman Show, breaking it down for you, hogs. What's going on in the ATL, Boss Report stories, Trial to Chest. We're doing it big. Coming up next, Coach McClain, UIC Flames up in Chicago on the Bossman Show.
All your photo, video, and voiceover needs, check out the fine folks at Blueberry Productions. They will take good care of you. If you don't believe me, you can see for yourself. Check out their work at blueberryproductions.tv, the Facebook page, Blueberry Productions, also a Vimeo page, a YouTube page, and it's Blueberry, BLUBERRY, Prod on Twitter. Check them out today, Blueberry Productions, great people, great work, great service. Hip-hop fans, I got a great album for you. The debut album from Family Grind ENT, True Speech and 313 Fresh. We're going to give you 2 discs, 33 songs of pure, genuine hip-hop. Album is available on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, illstreetrex.com, and streaming live right now on Rhapsody, Beats Music, Spotify, Xbox Music, Spreaker Radio, and SoundCloud. Check them out today. True Speech and 313 Fresh. Family Grind ENT. Believe in it. Get it.
EP on the beat. So on the beat.
Welcome back to the Bossman Show with John Beckler. We're about to be joined by the new coach, Illinois, Chicago, the Flames, up there in the Midwest, Chicagoland area. Coach Steve McClain. Coach, how you doing today, sir?
Well, I'm doing great, and I'll tell you what, it's great to be on your show, and anytime I get a chance to talk about Flames basketball, I want to do it. I don't care what time of year it is.
Oh, I hear that, Coach. I love your passion and your excitement. I hear in your voice what it means to you to be coaching the Flames. So if you can put in the words for the listeners out there who love the Flames like we do, what does it mean to you to be coaching the Flames and leading this team back to where you want it to be?
Well, I think more than anything, and I said this at the press conference, this program has had a great past, and somewhere it got lost. And when they called me and talked to me the first time, I knew this place could be unbelievable. And I keep saying it, and I'm going to say it till we do it. My idea of what a model is or what my plan is, we've got to get this program back to the point where when people talk about Wichita State, when they talk about Gonzaga, that they talk about UIC. That means you're winning conference championships. That means you're in the top 25. That means you're going to the NCAA tournament. And that's what I came here with the plan to do.
Now, Coach, since you've been there at UIC in the Chicago area, how has the community been treating you? Have you had a chance to get out and do any events in the community? Are you feeling the love? It sounds to me like the community has embraced you and vice versa.
Well, it's been great, and you guys know this city. It's a sports city, and so I tell the story. The night I took the job, the afternoon I took the job, we had the press conference. I went to meet some people at 10 o'clock at night at Gibson Steakhouse. I walk in and people are saying, "Hey, Coach, great to have you." And I'm in the city of Chicago, and it's been that way from day one. I got the honor of throwing out the pitch at the Cubs game. I sang the song. They have embraced me and this program at a really high level.
Yes, indeed. And, Coach, I tell you what, you guys been up there in the Chicagoland area, a great area for you to recruit this team, build this program up, Coach. So what kind of kids are you targeting that you want to bring to UIC? And also, what's the added bonus of you being actually in Chicago, selling the Chicagoland area to a kid and say, hey, get to school in Chicago, play D1 basketball, be in a cool city. So what you going to go about selling the kids on that? And also, who are you targeting to bring into your program?
Well, here's one of the biggest things, and I think most people don't know enough about our campus. They don't know how great a campus we have and that it's spread out over almost 14 blocks. I mean, it seems like when you're walking it. And, it reminds me of walking Indiana's campus when I was there, and it's beautiful. It's got trees, and yet here's the beauty of it. Within 12 minutes, you can be in downtown Chicago. So we're in the city, but we're outside the city, and you can get a first-class education here. We've got the environment to get a degree in anything you can want. And yet, I also know this. We've got the ability, and this is where we've got to keep kids at home. We don't need to watch the starting point guard at Wichita State who's from Chicago. We need that kid here. And my way of selling that is we are going to change it. We're going to change the perception. This city is so hungry for a college team to get behind. We've got to grasp that and be the team. And the only way we're going to do that, though, is to get those kids to stay at home. And I can tell you this. I took the job. The next day I was in 12 high schools. The next day I took a day in between, made some appearances. The next day was in 12 more high schools. Within 4 days, I was in over 40 different high schools, making sure they knew it was a different day and age at UIC.
Now, Coach, I can hear in your responses, not only in your voice, but in what you're saying, that you have a tremendous amount of leadership capabilities. And one of the things that JR and I are very interested in when we interview coaches is to get their perspective on what type of leader they are, what type of leader they intend to be. And from what it sounds like, you are going to lead by example when you're there at UIC, and it seems to me like they're very fortunate to have you. So what kind of leadership style do you plan on implementing there at the university?
Well, and I'll start it with this. I left a really good place. Indiana's an unbelievable job, and they're going to be preseason top 10 in the country. We had put together another group that we felt like would have to win, that could win a national championship. And so when I made the decision to come here for myself and my family, it was that I'm all in. And we're going to go and we're going to build something special. And so when I answer the leadership question, I want people that are all in. Like everywhere, we've got our faults. We've got to overcome those faults. I've never been someone that believed, I use the crutch analogy. Everybody's got something they'll fall back on when things don't work. I don't want to allow people to do that. I've hired a great staff. They all have Chicago ties. Everything I've done has had a plan of we're all in this together. And as I told a young man the other day, I was showing him the championship rings I have. I told him, I don't really need any more, but I want to see you standing on a ladder cutting the net down. I want you to experience Selection Sunday when they call out UIC and that feeling goes through you, because I've been there. You can, I don't care what anybody says, you can sit in that room 20 times, but when they call your name, it's a different feeling going through your body. So to answer your question the shortest way I can, I'm an all-in leader. I believe it's about the people that are working with me, not for me. We're all in this together, because the simplest thing in life is we all get rewarded when we all do good. And that's a simple statement, but it's so true in every level of sports.
And Coach, you said something that's very profound, because that's how I view this show that we have here with John and myself, because John is like the perfect yin to my yang and vice versa. He's all in with the show. I'm all in for him. He's all in for me. So it works good. There's no egos here. And we all on the same accord. It's going to be great. You can do great things together, because nobody has an ego here. Everybody's about to fight the main goal, having a great show, getting great guests, being a great player in the community for different things. So hearing you say it about how you feel about UIC and your staff is how I feel about with John and the staff we have around or at the show.
Well, I think anytime you're around winning, and I've been very fortunate to be around a lot of winning, and you study people, and being with Coach Crean, I got the opportunity to be around Tony La Russa, and I got a chance to be with Jim Harbaugh and watch what he's about, and John Harbaugh, and their dad, Jack Harbaugh. If you ever want to hear somebody really have energy, you listen to him speak. And and what I find is it doesn't matter what sport. When you get around successful and driven people, there is no lack of energy. There is no lack of vision. They know exactly where they're going, where they're going to lead their group to, and how we're going to go about it together. And I agree with you. It's why you guys have a great show. It's why people win.
Yes, indeed. And, folks, we're joined by, hear his voice, the new coach of UIC Flames in Chicago, Steve McClain on the Bossman Show. And, Coach, I love to talk to you coaches about when your team play. What do you want people to take away from seeing you guys play on a daily or on a daily basis, whether it be in league play, non-conference play? What do you want the fans to take away from seeing you guys play each night?
Well, I understand one thing. We're in the city of Chicago, and there's a lot to do here. You got the Bulls, you got the Bears, you got 2 pro baseball teams, you've got soccer, you've got hockey. We better be entertaining. We better make people want to spend the money to come watch us play. So we're going to play fast, we're going to play hard, and we're going to put a product out there that young kids walk away going, man, I want to play that way. And their parents walk away going, I want my son to act like those guys act. I want him to play like they play. But to answer your question, we're going to play fast. I think with the 30-second shot clock now, you're a fool if you don't press. You don't try to make teams have quicker possessions. We're going to press, and we're going to play fast on offense.
Now, Coach, the next question deals with non-conference scheduling, and we understand that when you come into a new program, a new system, they already have some games set up in the non-conference. But once you're able to get into that mix and take control of your non-conference schedule, what's your specific intent when scheduling those games? And, how do you think you're going to go about doing that as the time comes for you to set your non-conference schedule?
Well, and I did, I inherited one really good game. We'll play Illinois at the United Center, which is great for both programs and great for the fans they have in Chicago. And I hope John will continue to do that. We play DePaul home and home. We host them at our place this year, so that's a great game. I immediately got Illinois State on the schedule. They're an in-state school. We should be playing them. I'm continuing to work. To answer your question, I want to play the best because I believe this. You can't talk about being a top 25 program. You can't talk about those kind of things and not go play a schedule that shows you what it is, shows you how they do it, and where we've got to get. So I've tried to add the in-state rivalries because I believe you should do that here. But eventually we'll get to the point where you'll see a Kansas on our schedule. You'll see Kentucky on our schedule because, one, I'm not afraid to go play them, and two, I know our program needs that exposure.
Yes, indeed, Coach. It's always good to play a strong schedule because it makes the kids feel good when they actually get to play a bigger name school or in-state school. It gives a sense of pride, in-state pride, or pride playing a bigger conference school, BCS school. So that's great, Coach. I think mid-major school, you should do that for your players. You shouldn't be playing the little, I hate to say the smaller conferences, the lower majors. You should try to play up and make your kids better, give them a better experience in that level that you guys are playing in.
Well, there's no question because, again, it's like you guys. You try to measure yourselves against the best call-in shows, or the shows that are out there. You don't measure yourself against some show that nobody listens to. Well, we can't measure ourselves against the people that we're like. We got to measure ourselves against the people we're trying to catch. And that's how you go catch them. You know where you've got to get, the level of player you've got to recruit, and it's all part of the plan of how we'll build this program.
And, Coach, I see you referenced one of the rules they changed, they're taking shot clock now. And also they made the lane a little bit wider. Now, Coach, this is an idea that I have, that maybe 24-second shot clock, 14-minute quarters, advance the ball in the games, play with more freedom in the post. So those are rules that I would propose changing. What are you good with the rules where they change them this offseason? Anything you want them to change maybe in the next offseason? Well, the live ball timeouts maybe. That's something that you want to see change, or everything's good for you, Coach?
Well, I think we've got to, and I think everything they're trying to do, again, I go back to entertainment. Somewhere along the line, we forgot that you need to entertain. And a lot of coaches don't like to say that. They want it to be all serious and we're not in the entertainment. Yeah, we are in the entertainment business. You guys are in the entertainment business. If nobody wants to listen to you, they don't listen. That doesn't help you. Well, if we don't clean the game up and make scoring more a part of the game, and I'm not being critical, if a team wins 50-48, I guess that the win is good, but I'm not sure you're going to get fans to continue to buy tickets, to pay for big networks when they want to be entertained. And so I would like to see us, I think the officiating is the hardest part. I think the more we can move towards more where you have officials that are really locked in but that's hard to do. It takes a lot of money, but we've got to make the game fun, and it's fun by scoring. I don't care what anybody else says. I've never found a sport that was boring if teams were scoring.
Well, Coach, having you on is definitely entertaining and good for the show. So we definitely appreciate you hopping on with us. One of the things that I can say through the course of this interview, JR and I interview a lot of coaches in different sports, different levels of amateur and pro athletics. You can genuinely tell when a man has his heart and his soul into what he's doing. And I can hear that in your voice today. And that's something that if I were an alumnus of UIC, or if I was a current student or a booster or what have you, I would be very proud of and be very happy for, because that's something that those people at that university have to hang their hat on now. They've got a man like you to lead that program, and for me, that's a big deal. So I can hear it in your voice. I'm real happy for you that you got the opportunity. I'm going to be watching, and I know JR, you'll be watching too, right?
No doubt.
Well, I can tell you this, guys. I hope during the year I can be on with you, and you're going to watch us build this program, and I won't forget that you had me on. I can promise you that. And when we get to the NCAA tournament, you'll be the first radio show I do. How about that?
Hey, that's a deal, Coach. And Coach, I'm going to tell you something. Ron Hunter's on our show a lot last year. Good things happen. I can tell you that right now.
I love it.
Tennessee State, I have a show, made the tournament. So a lot of coaches who we have on the show, good things happen to them always. We have good.
Well, Ron Hunter's a good friend of mine, and we knew each other from when he was in Indianapolis. And Ron and myself have even talked about trying to play, and his son came and worked out in my gym here in Chicago when he was up here for the NBA Combine, and he's a great man doing a great job with that program. And so I'll look forward to talking to you guys again real soon.
Yes, indeed, Coach. We look forward to it as well. We've definitely watching the Flames this year and supporting you guys. So, Coach, as you said, y'all have a home here on the show. We look forward to it. Anytime you want to come on, Coach, we want to promote something down here in the South, let us know, because I know kids down in the South love to come up north to play. So I know they'll hear it. May want to say, we're going to use UIC, because it only takes one, Coach, to get one up there to help you guys out.
Exactly. I appreciate it, guys.
You're welcome, Coach. Now the coach of the UIC Flames, Steve McClain, on the Bossman Show. Coming up next, Utah Valley new head coach Mark Pope on the Bossman Show.
Sytonnia's.
all your photo, video, and voiceover needs, check out the fine folks at Blueberry Productions. They will take good care of you. If you don't believe me, you can see for yourself. Check out their work at blueberryproductions.tv, the Facebook page, Blueberry Productions, also a Vimeo page, a YouTube page, and it's Blueberry, BLUBERRY, Prod on Twitter. Check them out today. Blueberry Productions, great people, great work, great service. Hip-hop fans, I got a great album for you. The debut album from Family Grind ENT, True Speech and 313 Fresh. We're going to give you 2 discs, 33 songs of pure, genuine hip-hop. Albums available on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, illstreetrex.com, and streaming live right now on Rhapsody, Beats Music, Spotify, Xbox Music, Slacker Radio, and SoundCloud. Check them out today. True Speech and 313 Fresh. Family Grind ENT. Believe in it. Get it.
Much enjoy the Bossman Show with John Beckler right here on the Bossman Radio Network. We're about to be joined by the new coach of the Utah Valley University Wolverines, head coach who has Georgia ties. We used to coach in Georgia for a year out there, assistant coach Mark Pope. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing so great, JR. Thanks, man.
You're welcome. And, Coach, congrats on getting a new job by Utah Valley. You was out at BYU working out there, and now you got your own head coaching gig. So how you feel to have your own team member to lead your own stamp on this community, this university going forward?
Well, I'll tell you what, I couldn't be more excited. It's interesting as you go through this process, you kind of take over the job, and excitement builds as you put together a staff of guys that you really love and trust, and then you start to sign players that are better than what people might expect. It just kind of, those are the guys you put your faith in. You put your faith in your staff, and you put your faith in your players, and when those things are going well, you feel great about the prospect. So we couldn't be more excited. This is a special university that is one of the fastest growing universities in the country. We're currently the largest university in the state of Utah, and we're supposed to add 10,000 more students in the next 6 years. So it's an exciting time to be here at Utah Valley.
Well, speaking of the increase in population in the student body, how has the community been receiving you? Have you had a chance to get out into the community for any events? Are you feeling the love out there, Coach?
Yeah, it's been incredibly positive. Listen, I was at BYU for the last 4 years, which is only 4 miles down the road, and it's been wonderful to kind of maintain the ties that I was able to develop there, and then grow new ones in this new position. So that transition has been remarkably easy, just because of the close proximity.
And, Coach, like I said, it should be easy for you coming to recruiting because you already know the area around there in Provo, and you're in Orem now. Sure. And you have a record of playing ball at Kentucky and at Washington. You play professionally, and you've coached under, but you played for Patino, coached under Coach Fox, Coach Bizdelic, who has NBA experience as well, and the coach holds at BYU. So how is all those things combined together going to help you bring quality talent to UVU? And also, what kind of players will you be targeting to bring into UVU and play for the Wolverines going forward?
Well, listen, we're going to play fast, and we're going to be really aggressive. We're going to really utilize the three-point line, and we're playing transition through the post. One of the things that I is kind of built into my DNA from both Coach Patino and Coach Rose is just that their aggressive posture usually wins games. And that's just been built into me. And there's a lot of teams that can win all kinds of different ways, but that's just the way I coach. That's what I believe in, and that's how we're going to chase this. At BYU, we've had the shortest length of the possession offensively, played faster than any team in the country by over 2 seconds per possession the last 3 years. And we're going to try and beat that pace here at Utah Valley. and we'll probably focus on utilizing the 3-point line even more. But for us, it's going to come in transition and come in transition through the post, which is not. Most people don't play that way. That's not the way most people feel about the game, but that's how we're going to attack it here. In terms of recruiting, I've had a great staff that has connections around the country, and I've been really fortunate to play on the West Coast and play at the University of Kentucky, and then I've been lucky to coach in North Carolina and in Georgia, and then come out here west, and then professionally to really play. The one blessing for me is I was such a bad NBA player that I got to play at several different teams, and so we're kind of canvassing the whole country, searching for players, and we've been really successful so far.
Well, Coach, even a bad NBA player is better than 99.9% of the rest of us out here. So you're still good in our eyes.
That's right.
Well, one of the things that I wanted to kind of dovetail off of is what JR spoke about, and the different influences that you've had, whether it be playing under a coach or working with a coach, playing professionally. All these things that you've experienced in the game of basketball, what have they instilled in you? And what are some of the things that you can take with you as now you lead your own team with the Wolverines?
Yeah, listen, I've been blessed to play for some of the play and coach alongside some of the greatest leaders and coaches in the history of the game. And listen, you guys know Coach Fox well, being in Atlanta. And he actually brought me into this business. I was going down a different professional road, and he brought me to Athens, and he is first of all, what he's done there in his tenure has been really remarkable, considering the history of the program, and he is a unbelievable coach, and maybe a better CEO of a program, and so you look at a guy like him, who kind of really continues to this day to be my mentor in this business. And he didn't just bring me in there and kind of let me get my feet wet in terms of kind of learning how to coach, but he is meticulous about every single slice of a program. And I gather such an amazing whole program view of how to run things as a coach from him. And I still I still talk to him on a regular basis, just looking for advice, as do a lot of people that have grown up under his guidance. But I could go down the line of coaches just like him that have been great mentors to me, and each of those guys I take kind of something different from, and I've been really blessed that way.
And we're joined by the coach of the Utah Valley Wolverines, Coach Mark Pope, right on the Bossman Show. Now, Coach, this is a phenomenon to me and John. Finally, a big guy got a head coaching job. Other than Kevin McKay, I don't know too many big guys who get coaching gigs. Why is it that people have an aversion to hiring big guys as coaches? They always want to hire a guard. They don't want to hire a big man. Good to see a 6'10" guy get a gig. How you feel about that, Coach?
Well, I mean, listen, let's face it. All us big guys, we're just big dummies. I mean, that's what we are. Nobody wants to hire a big guy as a coach. I don't know exactly why that is. There's actually some guys that are running. I mean, there's been some great big men that have turned into big time coaches. Probably none better than Phil Jackson and what he's done in his career in the NBA. We actually have a terrific coach who's done an amazing job at the University of Utah the last few years, Larry Krystkowiak. But you're right. For the most part, coaching is dominated by, in terms of former players, it's dominated by people that, guys at the guard position. It's actually dominated by two types of former players. It's dominated by guards, and it's incredibly dominated by players that honestly were bad. And that happens for two reasons. One is because they're great players, but they don't need to go coach. And the second reason is because it's the players that weren't blessed with, listen, you take some of the greatest players in the history of the game, and it may be harder for them to co-coach. I played for Larry Bird for 2 years with the Indiana Pacers, and certainly he was a great coach during his tenure. But one of the challenges that Coach Bird probably had to overcome was trying to relate to how none of us on that team could perform at the same level that he could. And that's really interesting. Now, one of the special things about Coach Bird was that as a player, he didn't rely on incredible athletic ability. He kind of had to learn all the ways to cheat the game and play the game smart. And so one of the reasons I think why he was a great coach was because he's probably the most knowledgeable guy about the game, just because he himself, to be as good as he was, had to cheat all these, cut all these corners and figure out ways to be smarter than the game. But that's what bad players have to do to stay alive. When you have guys that maybe are a little bit less talented, they have to find ways to kind of outsmart the game. And I think you have a lot of coaches out there that at whatever level they played at, probably weren't the very best player, the most talented, the most athletically gifted player. And so they had to learn the game in a different way. And it's probably easier to instill that into players than it is to bless them with unbelievable athletic ability.
And also, Coach, I want to get this from you too. For rule changes, Coach, if you've been playing the NBA, playing internationally, what are some rules you want to see the game take up from maybe the NBA or from FIBA in college ball, or make the game more entertaining, make it a little bit more watchable for some people who are not diehard college basketball fans?
Well, I do. Listen, I already told you how we like to play. I do think that the shot clock is a step in the right direction. I think that the shorter we can make the shot clock, the better it is for the game. I know there's some purists that disagree with that, but I like the idea that there is some tempo to the game, because with tempo brings freedom. The shorter the shot clock, the more that coaches have to trust players to make plays. And I think that's when great basketball players can really shine is the less control coaches have, the more control players have, the better. And I think a shortened shot clock, for a number of reasons, is conducive to that. I really do like that move. I don't know how much of an impact 30 seconds is going to have versus 35. I wonder if one more step is going to be better, but I like that change. I like all the direction that we've taken in terms of freedom of movement on the floor. I think it's good for the game. I wonder about the 3-point line in the college game. I wonder if there's not some medium step between there and the NBA 3-point line that's actually going to increase spacing in the game. One of the great things about the NBA game right now is that there's so much space to play in. I don't think college games go to the NBA 3-point line, because I think in some ways it takes the 3-point line. It makes it less of a weapon in college, but maybe somewhere in between could be good for the game. But I think in general, I like the direction that the rules are going. I think it's helping the game grow.
Now, Coach, coming into a new program, obviously some of the non-conference games are already scheduled for you, but once you have a chance to kind of get your hands on the non-conference schedule, how do you foresee yourself going about it, and what will be your intent, as you schedule your non-conference games?
Well, we're in the middle of scheduling right now, and our schedule probably is way too tough. But I think that's probably in my nature, is I want to go play great teams, and I know that maybe we're putting ourselves in harm's way a little bit, and I'm certainly putting my coaching record as a first-year head coach in jeopardy a little bit. But that's what you want to do as an athlete. You want to go compete, you want to go play, and we'll have some freedom with our non-conference record. We're legitimately probably in the WAC. We're probably, at least for the next few years, solidly in a one-bid league. So we have some freedom to really go compete in the non-conference. And our goal in the non-conference is to grow our team as fast as we possibly can and as much as we can, so that we can be ready to compete in conference and win a conference tournament title, so that we can get the NCAA tournament. And so we'll be aggressive. Our mindset is going to be, how can we help our team develop the best. And there's going to be some teams that are coming up where we'll think, we need to win as many games in the non-conference as we can so that we just smell winning. We know winning. We can taste winning. Winning is a close acquaintance of ours. And there's going to be some teams that will have roll through here where we're like, we need to just go challenge ourselves and play the very, very best basketball teams that we can in the country. And that's how we're going to grow our team. It'll change from team to team, just as the personality of the team. We haven't gone to battle with our roster this year, so we're a little bit guessing. But when we have to err, we'll err towards a more aggressive schedule, just because that's what you like to do. You like to play great teams.
And just to follow up, you may or may not have the answer to this, but do you plan on coming south or east for any trips to universities to play, or is that something that you already have scheduled? Anytime that you might get out this way?
Yeah, we actually have one major trip scheduled out east. We'll be close to you guys. Not allowed to kind of confirm or deny that yet, but we do have one trip scheduled out. It's interesting. Cross country travel is, and in our league we'll play in Chicago, so we'll play Chicago State in our league. We have one non-conference trip scheduled. I'll probably stay away from a whole lot more. 4 or 5 trips out east. Just the travel is so taxing. Essentially, you get home and it's always the next game you're worried about, just because the travel is difficult. But I like to get, listen, I grew up in New York and obviously got to coach in North at Wake Forest and University of Georgia and played at University of Kentucky. So I'll look forward every year to getting out that way at least once or twice.
Yeah, and I'm sure that there's a tipping point, as there is with most things, where the benefit outweighs the cost, whether it be the experience or the exposure or what have you. So interesting conversation. Yeah. Just for me to close it out is your typical day so far. You've been in town there. Like you said, you're not far away. Has your typical day, your day-to-day changed much? I mean, obviously your routine as the head coach now has got a lot more responsibility that you're taking on. But has your day-to-day changed from, what you were doing before with BYU?
Yeah, I mean, it's changed just in the amount of time and responsibility. We're just starting a program from fresh. So we're here, we're here early in the morning, and, where our staff is right now is we'll send everybody home to catch a quick bite of dinner, and then we come back and we'll be here till late in the night, early in the morning, just because there's so much ground to cover. But other, so that's been the biggest deal is just right now we have, we're trying to build a program, and that's way different feel than being in this program that's as established as BYU. So that's the biggest difference, but it's a huge time saver and huge benefit that my family is still stayed in the same home and that we know the area. And like you said, we have already developed fundraising and recruiting ties here. And so that's been a great benefit.
And finally for me, Coach, I want to know, are you still able to dunk now? And are you getting out there with the guys doing the workouts and kind of still giving them a little bit? Saying, I used to play in the professional leagues. I might not be the best guy, but I can still probably get you. Do you give the players that kind of competition out there, Coach?
Hey, I have no doubt you can get me now. I'm pretty broken down, but I will get. I'm big enough that hopefully I'll be able to dunk for a long time, just because it's not that taxing on me. But I do get out on the floor with guys, but in limited situations, just because I want to feel their body and their balance more than any scrimmaging situation. That's an important part of teaching guys. You can watch a guy, but when you can really feel where his weight is and how good his shoulders are and how good his core strength is, I think you can better coach guys. So there's a real value in being on the floor, but in terms of running up and down the floor with these guys, I would probably only last running up the floor and then back down. I don't think I got any chance to keep up. So, which is good, because if I'm recruiting guys that I can still compete with, then I'm not recruiting good enough guys.
Well, Coach, if you need a zone buster, call me or John.
I love it. Let's go, boys.
We've done a lot of interviews, and that's the best litmus test we've heard right there for recruiting.
Yes, indeed. What Coach Poe about to say? What it was? I said I knew you coach at Georgia. I knew you new head coach out there, so I want to get you on the show. I'm glad we got made to make it happen, Coach. We gotta do it again because I enjoyed the visit with you. We gotta keep an eye on the Utah Valley Wolverines and what you got going on out there in Utah.
Guys, listen, I really appreciate it. Anytime, I'd love to come on the show.
Thanks so much, Coach. That was the coach of the Utah Valley Wolverines, Coach Mark Pope, on the Bossman Show. Coming up next, Ritchie McKay of Liberty University on the Bossman Show.
For all your photo, video, and voiceover needs, check out the fine folks at Blueberry Productions. They will take good care of you. If you don't believe me, you can see for yourself. Check out their work at blueberryproductions.tv, the Facebook page, Blueberry Productions, also a Vimeo page, a YouTube page, and it's Blueberry, BLUBERRY, Prod on Twitter. Check them out today. Blueberry Productions, great people, great work, great service. Hip-hop fans, I got a great album for you. The debut album from Family Grind ENT, True Speech and 313 Fresh. We're going to give you 2 discs, 33 songs of pure, genuine hip-hop. Albums available on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, illstreetrex.com, and streaming live right now on Rhapsody, Beats Music, Spotify, Xbox Music, Slacker Radio, and SoundCloud. Check them out today, True Speech and 313 Fresh, Family Grind ENT. Believe in it, get it.
Welcome back to the Bossman Show with John Beckler right here on the Bossman Radio Network. We're about to join by the Liberty Flames head coach who's been before. He's back. Coach Ritchie McKay on the Bossman Show. Coach McKay, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, JR. Yourself?
Doing great, Coach. Doing great. As we talk off there, I'm not in traffic here in Atlanta. I'm safely in the studio, and I don't have to worry about having an hour to get home tonight.
As many times as I mentioned to you off the air, as many times as I've been to the ATL, invariably, when you're going from gym to gym to try and recruit some of that great talent y'all have there, I end up spending a lot of time listening to either my favorite Christian program or satellite radio or something where I'm kind of not moving in Atlanta. But I don't mind it. Great city, and again, thanks for having me on today.
You're welcome, Coach. And, Coach, what does it mean to be back at Liberty? You left to go to Virginia. Now you're back at Liberty. How is it going to be what I'll call back home for you?
It's been great. You know, Liberty's changed significantly since I left. Not only has the university exploded in terms of its student population, but some of the resources that they've been blessed to secure, and the online program, it's really done wonders for the institution. It's the world's largest Christian university. So I'm really privileged to have a chance to come back. I think if we do it right, our programs got a chance to kind of get on the first the regional map and hopefully one day the national map. And I've got a phenomenal staff there. So I'm really blessed. I'm going to miss Charlottesville. I'm going to miss UVA. Coach Tony Bennett, if you don't know him, he's one of the best coaches and definitely one of the best people on earth. So I was blessed to do life with him for 6 great years, and hopefully I will have learned a little bit, a thing or two on the defensive end for as good as he was and we were
on that end of the floor.
Coach, I'm curious. I don't know much about the Lynchburg community, and I was hoping you might be able to expand a little bit on what it's like in the area, and have you had a chance to get back out into the community and do any events since you've taken the helm there? How's the community been treating you since you've been back?
We've been really well received. Thank you, John. It's actually kind of neat that I know what roads to turn on, and we really enjoyed Lynchburg when we were here last. We never left Liberty for what it wasn't. We left because I had a chance to go and do life with a really close friend of mine, and it added great value to my life and my family's life being in Charlottesville. So, but Lynchburg is a great community. It's smaller, but definitely has a flavor to it, and we're just hoping that we can build up our brand and see if we can get the community interested in Flames basketball.
And hopefully, Coach will come on our show that the ATL would take a liking to the Liberty as well, because I know that there are a lot of Christians live in this area who would love to send their kids up to Liberty, a lot of talent who love to play at Liberty. So hopefully, come on our show as you will be doing, hopefully down the road. We'll get more kids to want to come up to Liberty and play for you, knowing that you have a great pedigree as you do.
Well, thank you. Again, we don't care where people are from. We just want them to have a real strong desire to be a part of this university. I'm telling you, if you're, no matter what stage you are in your faith, if you want to grow, Liberty's got unbelievable leadership, resources, opportunity for you to develop your faith. I'm 50 years old, and the mentors and the unbelievably equipped individuals that reside on our campus have me so excited about my own personal spiritual growth and development. And then we've got such a fun campus for the 18 to 22-year-old. I don't know, JR, you sound like you're young, and you sound like you might have a nice jump shot. You have any eligibility left?
I may have one year left, Coach. I can be a grad transfer for you. I'm a zone buster, Coach.
We can use those. Somebody told me you were a shooter. I need to know if you're a maker, though. I need some makers.
Look here, Coach. You leave me open, corner three, me mid-range three. Over there, even down the middle, Coach, I got you. And defensively, I will hustle for you. I'll close out hard, and I will take a charge for you. I will give you what you need, Coach.
All right, I remember that when I come out next time. I'm going to get your shoes on. You probably got some old Chuck Taylors that we can lace up, and I'll put you through a workout.
Oh, hey, Coach, I look forward to it. You got to get John, too. John's a good screener for you. See, John set screens. He's a rugged guy like Shane Battier.
Yeah, I'm not mad at him. I love guys that are great role players, and every great team has them. We're about to watch the Cavaliers and the Warriors series, and it's all about Stephen and LeBron, but there'll be many of individuals that have a great impact on wins that series. The guys like Sean Livingston who don't get much credit, or although Draymond Green's gotten kind of trendy and popular, Festus Ezeli from Vandy. A lot of players on the Warriors side that make that team go, and obviously the Cavaliers have some themselves, and Tristan Thompson and a host of others. So it'll be fun to watch.
Well, Coach, we're going to break a little bit here, and we'll get your opinion on the series winner. I'm a Clevelander. I've got the Cavs in 5. JR's got a buddy playing for the Warriors, so he's got the Warriors in 6 or 7. Which side you coming down on, Coach?
That one's a tough one. I coached Steph's brother Seth at Liberty, and I really love their family. Dale, Sytonnia, Fidel, they've got a wonderful family, so I'm fond of them. But we also had a player, Joe Harris, who played for us at Virginia for 4 years, and I got to tell you, I'm torn on this one. I think the Warriors might sneak it out, but I'd be excited if Dave Griffin, the GM, and Joe Harris and the great people in Cleveland brought a championship. So I think I can win either way. But if I had to pull for someone, it'd probably be the Cavaliers.
That's the answer I was looking for, Coach. Now, the leadership on both of those teams is evident. You don't make it to the NBA Finals without a strong leadership, a group of leaders or a singular leader on a team. Now, for you, your leadership and your core values, what do you bring to the table? What do you expect out of your players, and how do you lead? There's many different ways you can be a leader. I'm curious to know how you lead and what you intend to do, with this coaching opportunity as far as from a leadership standpoint.
Yeah, great question, John. I've had some great mentors in my life. Dick Bennett, Tony's dad, is one of them. Dick Davey, former coach at Santa Clara, and I've watched from afar some different coaches around the country, and been really blessed to have some spiritual mentors that have made unbelievable deposits in my life. And I think the way I've been, I guess, most attracted to the leadership styles is those men that lead with a servant's heart, that really are transformational in nature, where they know what is in the best interest of the heart of the young man, and they're willing to sacrifice maybe what they can get out of them in order to develop them in a fashion that develops his whole person. So I think my leadership style, I'd love to be. Joe Ehrman wrote a book, Inside Out Coaching. He talked about the difference between a transactional coach and a transformational coach. And I think for me, I'd love to be recognized as a transformational coach, and that takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes an intentionality to be a servant, and you got to kind of put the blinders on and say no to the world and what it's screaming as success is, and take the definition that God uses in the Word in order to follow in that narrow road.
And Coach, hearing you say this, it's so just refreshing, because like me and John have a mission as well for as new coaches, new hires, because this is what we do, and you're part of that mission. Because we say new hire or new coach, we want to reach out, build a relationship. It's still an olive branch. We've been in the 9th B media market in America. We feel like we can help you in the best way we can, like getting you on the air, getting your word out to 8 million people in this area, and other affiliates as well. We feel like we can build a bond with you going forward. You know that you can trust us, we can trust you. And that's one of our missions here at the Bossman Show. If it's a new hire, to reach out, see we can build a relationship with them and maybe get a friend for life, maybe, or a friend everywhere you go. You can come here and promote what you have to promote. Talk to the city of Atlanta or wherever we may be at. You have somewhere you can come to. And I hear you say that it's like we're about sacrificing here at the Bossman Show. We're about caring, loving whoever we do interview, and giving you a good place to come to talk about what you got going on a platform that you can appreciate and know it really cares about you and what you have going on.
Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate that. I appreciate your heart and you giving me exposure and giving a jump start to different programs, different coaches around the country who are new and just starting up. So if you ever need me, give me a call. Let's set it up. I'd love to come on again.
For all your photo, video, and voiceover needs, check out the fine folks at Blueberry Productions. They will take good care of you. If you don't believe me, you can see for yourself. Check out their work at blueberryproductions.tv, the Facebook page, Blueberry Productions, also a Vimeo page, a YouTube page, and it's Blueberry, BLUBERRY, Prod on Twitter. Check them out today. Blueberry Productions, great people, great work, great service. Hip-hop fans, I got a great album for you. The debut album from Family Grind ENT, True Speech and 313 Fresh. We're going to give you 2 discs, 33 songs of pure, genuine hip-hop. Albums available on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, illstreetrex.com, and streaming live right now on Rhapsody, Beats Music, Spotify, Xbox Music, Slacker Radio, and SoundCloud. Check them out today. True Speech and 313 Fresh. Family Grind ENT. Believe in it. Get it.
enjoy the Bossman Show with John Beckler. You've been waiting for it. It's here. It's time for the Boss Report. First story, John. A Sliz woman says man dropped from the sky to drive her car.
Wait a minute. She dropped from the sky to drive her car?
Yes, a man dropped from the sky to drive her car.
What kind of car was it?
A Honda Civic.
Nobody's dropping from the sky to drive a Civic. Nobody. That's too far. Too far to fall to drive a Civic. If you're falling out of the sky to drive something, it's got to be like a, hot rod or some kind of European sports car. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, not for a Civic.
No.
She's tripping.
No, and I will also say this about this story. Do you remember a few weeks back when I came back onto the air with the Boss Report and you hit me with Polish dude uses Vaseline injection to, enlarge penis, that whole scenario?
Yes.
This is like this is the exact opposite of that story. Like, that you came at me so hard in that initial Boss Report, like that was the first story back. Right? Like, why couldn't you have given me, man falling from sky to drive a Honda Civic? That's so much easier intro. You just threw me right into the fire, man.
Hey, I'm still in that story for like four weeks.
You just couldn't wait.
Sitting there.
Yeah, you couldn't wait to drop that one on me, could you?
Exactly. Hey, we going to the state of Florida. A Florida man arrested after walking out of the pawn shop with an AK-47 stuffed down his pants.
He walked out of the pawn shop?
Yes.
So that means he went in there and bought the AK, right?
No, he 5-finger discounted. He pulled a Jameson.
He pulled the Jameson. Is that a AK-47 in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? Both. Like, dude, what? I mean, how do you even... You don't pawn your AK, okay? That's got to be jealous girlfriend, right? That's jealous girlfriend. Like, Florida man has his AK leaned up against the corner in the bedroom, right? And then he does something to upset Florida woman. If Florida woman pawns his AK, that's got to be the scenario there, right?
Has to be.
I wonder how much you get for an AK at the pawn shop. Any idea?
I would say probably 3 to 5 G, probably.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of money. That gun. It's an expensive weapon.
Yeah. So depending on how glossy it is, how much uses have, I think you get between 3 and 5 G, maybe more depending on what pocket you go to.
How many bodies it has on it?
Exactly.
Does that raise the price or does that lower the price?
Depends on what shop you go to. If you're in the hood, it probably raises it. Suburbs, probably not.
Now, the second part of this story is, I mean, an AK has got to be like, close to probably 4 feet long, right?
Exactly.
I mean, you got to be at least 6'2" to put that down your pants, right?
Exactly.
I mean, either that or you're like disproportionate and your legs are really long,
Wow. This story has many layers to it.
Absolutely.
You just don't know, people. Now, New York woman lets ex-boyfriend stay at her place. In return, he chokes her and sets her house on fire.
That's a terrible house guest right there. That is a terrible, terrible house guest. Like that. Your hospitality is met with choking and setting your residence ablaze. That is not like usually you would expect a thank you, right? Like to thank you, clean up the bathroom after yourself would be a nice gesture to show that you appreciate being able to stay there, making up the bed in the morning. I'm gonna go out on a limb here, JR, and say that a chokehold and misplaced match in your domicile is not a good look for that.
Exactly. At least it's not torturing your house trying to clean a vibrator.
Well, yeah, that dude. What was he cleaning it with? Napalm? He was using a flamethrower to clean that. Kerosene or something. Yeah, that dude was. He was all whacked out, man. That was Florida man, wasn't it?
It sure was.
Yeah, it had to be.
And we going there again. Florida man arrested after robbing 7-Eleven in his pro wakeboarding team's team shirt, identified by Rockstar Energy drink logo on it.
Well, I mean, listen, you got to represent, JR. I mean, you got to represent the squad, you know, in everything that you do. We've had all the coaches on, and the coaches will tell you when you're out in the community, man, you know, you represent the school that you play for. You know, you represent your team. That's all the guy was doing. He was just repping his team, man. You know, he went in, took care of business, had his wakeboarding team shirt on, and, you know, it caught up to him, but he was representing.
Yes, he was. And Louisiana woman tries to avoid arrest, offering to lick cops' balls and butthole.
JR, that was rough. That was rough, dude. Like, there was no sugarcoating that, I guess. Like, what are you supposed to say, right? I mean, what are you supposed to say?
I tried to decode it, but I was gonna go with what it was.
I mean, you're right. I mean, like, what are you gonna call them? Like, milk duds and chocolate starfish? Like, what? I don't understand. What could you go with?
Exactly.
Really? I mean, I feel like that's not worth it. Like, I feel like you know, like you gotta come with something better than that to get out of a ticket, right?
Exactly. You have to. That was definitely.
There was a part
scandalous.
missing. Yeah, that was scandalous. There's something missing though. I think that, you know, if you're going to that, if you're gonna hit a double, you might as well try for 3, right? Go hustle for third. That's what I'm saying, JR. Hustle for third.
Exactly, man. And Florida man arrested after slashing 88-year-old woman's tires with an ice pick for sitting his favorite bingo seat.
Dude, okay, well, we know Florida man loves his coupons, but now we're being informed, Boss Report listeners, that Florida man loves some bingo. I had no idea that Florida man was into the bingo. I mean, that's hardcore, dude. When you're getting after Granny because she sat in your bingo seat, you're into it, dude. You're into it hardcore. Florida man, he's got some. Florida man is basically like a old Florida woman. He loves couponing and bingo. Like, what's next, right? Crochet,
exactly.
Macrame. Like, Florida man is basically living in a retirement community, I think.
Exactly. Florida man is one of a kind. And now we have Australian man arrested after asking woman to breastfeed along with her baby at Starbucks.
Listen, you don't know unless you ask, JR. You don't know unless you ask. Are you going to sit across, if you go to the dance when you're in high school, are you going to sit across the room all night looking at the pretty girl and wish that you were dancing with her? Or are you going to go across the gym, walk over there, and ask her to dance? What's it going to be, man? That's what this guy, that's basically what he's saying to himself. He sat across the Starbucks, and he knew what he wanted, and he went after it, and he got it. That's all. He just was going for it, man. Put it out there. You don't know unless you try.
Exactly. I can imagine Australian man and Australian baby slurping up that milk.
Wow. I wonder if Australian baby would be into that. Like, maybe he would, like, fight him off, you know? Like, that, get out of here, bro. That's mine, you know?
Exactly, because I know babies are very territorial about their breasts.
Babies? We talking about babies. We all are. It don't matter if you're a baby or not.
Exactly.
That's something that we carry through life, man. Don't come after my fun bags, man. I'll take you out.
Exactly. Straight up.
Straight up.
Oh man. And a Florida team posing a CIA agent holds family at gunpoint, arrests after call 911 to say the quote, "He's making a drug bust. Come quick."
So, you're saying that this is a Florida teen?
Yes.
Holding his family at gunpoint?
Yes.
And then he was saying that he was a CIA agent?
Yes.
And he contacted local authorities to report the fact that he was making a drug bust?
Yes, and come quick.
Come quick. So, okay, so I'm just going to throw it out there, right? Like, he was on the meth, right?
Had to be on his level.
Had to be on his level. That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, he had it all dialed in, though, didn't he? Like, you know, he was a CIA agent making a bust. But what he doesn't understand is the CIA doesn't bust people for using drugs. They pump the drugs into the cities, man. The CIA's on the wrong end. You should have been like FBI. The FBI will bust you for drugs. But the CIA, they're the ones bringing them in.
Exactly. He was definitely off base with his assessment.
Yes, he was. He should have contacted the Boss Report. We could have the Boss Report information line, JR. We have that set up. We'll get the number out to you. If he would have contacted the information line, we could have directed him in the proper area.
Exactly. And Virginia high school teacher arrested after showing before and after snaps of her knockers to her students.
I mean, listen, I've been down this road before with women with fake breasts and implants, and they love showing them off, man. They love showing them off. I've been in a scenario where I've just had them shown to me, like, you know, out at night, out at the club, back in the day. Hey, check out what, you know, like, not like the day after they were done, but these are fake, man. Check them out. What do you think? Feel them. You know, they want you to, like, tell them that they look great because they spend an exorbitant amount of money getting fake boobs, so they will show them off to anybody they can. It's just one of those things, man. You buy a new car, you're taking that thing out for a spin, man, right?
Yes, you are. Just don't show them to your students in high school.
Well, you know, that's probably not the best scenario. No, I will agree with you there. The wrong audience, absolutely. Should have went to the teacher's lounge. I'm sure there's plenty of guys in there that would have totally given you their opinion.
Exactly. No football coach,
yeah.
Basketball coach, baseball coach, wrestling coach, track coach, auto mechanics teacher, probably.
Softball coach.
Yeah. There's options other than the kids.
School nurse.
Counselor.
Lunch lady.
Social worker. Security guy.
Security guy, yeah, you know security, man. Dude, security guys, oh yeah. Security guy and custodian. Those two hang out together, because security guy and custodian are tight. You don't really, I'm just going to put it out there. Those two are tight. They're tight.
Exactly. Happy hours every Friday. Oh, yeah. Getting their natural light on and their Colt 45s on, 211s on.
They're definitely at mugshots 5-for-1 Asian night, no doubt.
No, straight up, Beckler, straight up.
What is this week? Is this week? What is this week? Caucasian night? What do we got? What's on the schedule?
Yes, it's Caucasian night.
Sweet.
Caucasian night.
It's my time to shine.
All the Caucasian women in Memphis, Tennessee. Show up at Mugshots Cordova 5-for-1. JC Smith will be there to host your karaoke nights on Caucasian Friday at Mugshots.
Come visit local high school custodian and security guard on their night out.
You're free to 11 o'clock, people. Free to 11 o'clock there. Free to 11. So John, 3 to 11. Gonna be a wild crowd there with him on the microphone. It's gonna be crazy.
Absolutely. It could just be him by himself and it'd be a wild crowd.
Exactly. And this is a story he would like too, John. Florida mom arrested for attacking son with sack of potatoes because he asked what was for dinner.
He asked what for dinner?
He asked what was for dinner. She hit him with a sack of potatoes over the head.
Well, listen, you gotta be in shape. You're swinging a sack of potatoes. I mean, dude, I think the smallest one they make is like 5 pounds, right?
Yes, 5 pounds.
I mean, you're swinging around a 5-pound dumbbell. You're swinging one of those around in your hand. You hit somebody with one of those, that's gonna leave a mark, man. I mean,
exactly.
The last time that kid ever asked for dinner, I'll tell you that right now. He'll be cooking himself some mac and cheese or some rice-a-roni before he asks what's for dinner.
And you know, for Jason Smith, if you take his Captain D's cheesecake, what happens to you?
Oh yeah.
So Lil Jonathan, you take his cheesecake, sacrifice come to your head, coming out the box.
Yeah, you don't mess with his cheesecake. No, there is no doubt about that. He's like with his cheesecake. He's like Florida man with his bingo chair, dude. You don't mess with that.
Yeah, Captain D's cheesecake. He don't got Captain D's. He's messed up. So we have a Brooklyn woman, John, staff refusing to sex with her green card husband, claims her real boyfriend's at work. His name is Dante.
So she's got the husband strictly for the green card?
Yes.
And she's refusing him sex because her real boyfriend is at work.
Named Dante.
Dante. Like, that's like a Dr. Phil scenario, right? Like, what? We gotta get some help up there to the Bronx, man. What the heck's going on?
Exactly. I mean, like what? Oh man. Green card husband thinks he should get green card husband benefits, but it ain't happening. Dante's getting the benefits.
Well, I mean, you got to get something. Maybe he should like talk to that woman who was trying to get out of the ticket with the milk dud scenario. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. See, on the Boss Report, we help you on the Boss Report. There's people who can help you on the report at all times.
Yeah,
all times.
Absolutely. We'll get the hotline number out there to you. You call in, we'll steer you in the right direction.
And here we go. 70-year-old Florida man arrested for stabbing roommate with box cutter over argument over dirty towels and rags.
What was the age again?
70-year-old Florida man. 70.
Man, dude, I guess grumpy old men, man. You got a temper on you, bro. Like, you coming after somebody with a box cutter. I guess, is it uncommon for older folks to like become roommates later in life? I don't think it's uncommon, is it?
It's not normal per se. I'm 70 years old, usually by yourself. You know, you're not really with a roommate at 70.
Well, I guess what I'm thinking is like because maybe you're on a fixed income and
probably so, a high rise or something like that, probably.
Right. Well, I guess that's what I'm thinking. Like instead of, I guess it's better just to, like, for the companionship, you got a buddy hanging around, if something goes wrong for you or whatever. But at any rate, if you're in one of those scenarios, people, make sure you clean up after yourself, because apparently there's a rash of, stabbings going on with people who dirty up the apartment.
At least it wasn't a machete or a sword this time.
Yeah, the last time we heard one of these, somebody almost got decapitated.
Exactly. And remember, the fact we all the sheets, that was a problem too.
Yeah, it was, man. I mean, you got to be careful. When you're running around with some of the blue hairs, man, you got to watch out. They do not take any guff off the younger set.
And, John, pastors ain't nothing. Janky England preacher claims to have resurrected a dying man who was only having an epileptic seizure.
So the dude was having an epileptic seizure, and the preacher was trying to claim that the epileptic seizure was actually him being revived?
Yes.
Dude, that's the worst take ever. Like, instead of trying to get medical attention from the dude, he's like, "Whoa, look, everybody, I'm actually doing it." Like he's doing his whole spiel. The guy's having a seizure. Somebody needs to hold his head still, put a stick in his mouth. This guy's just letting him flop around the floor like a fish out of water, claiming that he's resurrecting him or something. That's a terrible take.
Horrible take. One of the worst takes ever. You're right about that.
Terrible.
Florida man arrested after sipping Bud Light as he walks down the street in only shirt and shoes since he lost his pants and underwear while at the beach playing volleyball.
Dude, you have got to really be into that game of volleyball if, like, at the end of it, you end up with no pants, walking down the street, sipping on a Bud Light. Like you were really focused in on that game, Like, match point went back and forth for a while. You were really focused in. Maybe caught a little sunstroke. Next thing you know, you're walking down the street pantsless, sipping on a 40 in a PL. Whoa, man. Listen, you got to give Florida man credit. He takes his volleyball serious.
Yes, indeed. And when the checks start coming in for the cush, John, fast food workers fired after video shows them exchanging dabbers for food in the drive-thru.
So they were exchanging, what were they exchanging for food?
Dabbers.
Oh, okay.
Cushback.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I mean, it seems fair. It seems fair, right? It's fair trade, It's just like the barter system, Instead of money, they're trading it up for some food. It's all good. Listen, when you work the drive-thru, JR, you need a little bit of stress relief in your life. Think about all the stories we've heard of people assaulting the drive-thru worker because something got screwed up in their order. They need a little relief. A little stress relief never hurt anybody. That's all they're trying to go for. We got to start a union, JR. We've been helping the kids of Florida that have been locked in the cars, pets in Florida locked in cars. We got to open it up to drive-thru workers. We got to get a union together for drive-thru workers. They're really taking a beating.
And John, this next story is right there. Tennessee man arrested for attacking Arby's drive-thru worker with a crowbar, leaving cheese off his roast beef sandwich.
Yeah, dude. If you listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. Okay, that might be me. That might be me doing that. If you order a beef and cheddar, it's a beef and cheddar, man. You got the beef and cheddar. You got the little onions on top of the bun. You want a beef and cheddar. If somebody comes and you order a beef and cheddar and it comes out as just a regular roast beef sandwich, what's up with that, man? How could you mess that up? I said beef and cheddar. You gave me regular roast beef. You reach in the back seat. You grab the tire iron and you regulate that. You regulate. That should not. That's you don't mess with my Arby's, JR. Don't mess with my Arby's.
Yes, indeed. And finally, John, a Florida man arrested for meditating naked at the bus stop.
Well, that's just the dude that was, playing his volleyball game. He had his pants off. He got to the bus stop, got hot, took his shirt off, had his Bud Light in his system, was just reflecting on the volleyball game from earlier in the day. He was just chill, man. That's all, waiting for his bus. Got to get home, take a shower, stab his roommate for not cleaning up the towels or whatever it is that Florida man was going to do that night. Could be anything at that point. Once he's naked, all bets are off, right?
Exactly. Every week is a Florida man naked.
Yeah.
Every week.
Yeah. And this week we just saw how, the progression of how he actually got naked. That's all. Usually we just get right to the nakedness. This time there was a little progression,
Exactly. And John, before we end the Boss Report today, what is your take on tonight's report?
Well, listen, like I said, the past couple weeks, we had Sytonnia help us out with the Boss Report. We had JC help us out. So it's good when I'm with somebody else because it kind of reels me back into reality. But then the flip side of that is when I'm by myself, I start to get, when I hear stories about nakedness, it doesn't even dawn it. It doesn't even faze me that the dude's naked. That's like half the story doesn't even faze me. I'm just getting into the reason why he was meditating, butt naked on a bus stop or walking down the street drinking a BL. It's just when you're by yourself, it's a different scenario. I kind of miss my buddies. Sytonnia, I miss Sytonnia. I miss JC. We might have to do a little JC Sytonnia. We might have to do a little four-way, JR. We'll do a little four-way coming up here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, how about in the end of June Boss Report, we get a JC Sytonnia mix with us on the Boss Report?
Yeah, because I think that if we put them together, I think that just it could really be some quality radio. So that's my take on tonight's report is while I'm good by myself, JR, I'm great with others. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Well, we will. Hey, for our end of June report, we will have Sytonnia and JC. We can make it happen, and I'm pretty sure it will be straight up scandalous.
I'm ready, baby. Let's do it.
Yes, indeed. And folks, I'm sure Bossman enjoyed the Bossman Show with John Beckler on the Bossman Radio Network.
And if you don't know, now you know.
We want to thank our guests today, Eric Konkol, Louisiana Tech, Steve Forbes, ETSU, Steve McClain, UIC Flames, UVU, Wolverine Green, Mark Pope, and the Liberty Braves, Ritchie, McKay, and Sytonnia for joining the Bossman Show today with Jared and John on the Bossman Radio Network. Catch at the same bad time, same bad channel on the Bossman Radio Network.